give them. Why article they there? Oh, okay. So I'm not convinced those people because they already know. Say, then if na article, don't forget that in here. Law, nothing will happen. You have people in APC. You have people in ADC. We have people 2023 in APC that were literally practically voting for LP, all in the person of PO, because they knew his antecedent, what he carried out back then when he was in governorship. But guess what? Some people will lie and go with propaganda and start telling us that EFCC, it was article that constructed them and co. Guess what? Everybody in that parastatal, nobody has come out to say, oh, it was article that organized this thing. Or be or co. Nobody, none of them. You will keep claiming, oh, I was the one that constituted. No. Meanwhile, we knew what you did when you were a custom officer. You cannot sweep that under the carpet. Making any sense to me. Because these guys, they are heading for colossal failure. Why? You are trying to play Nigerians, telling us that we already know. When this guy entered LP, in no seconds, they gave him the ticket. Who knew LP before now? Me, I never knew that there's a party, there's a body called LP party. I never knew that before. All of a sudden, this guy entered there, boom, it skyrocketed. I can tell you, 2023, there's a lot of persons who went out there to act as party agents that are not even member of LP. So enough of this lie saying that, oh, you have to become a member before you can become a candidate. Who is changing that now? I remember days ago, but years back, I participated for PDP as a party agent. I can't remember the last time I worked for APC for that what's it called? Local government chairmanship without being a member. But I worked for them because the person that was contesting them was my pastor. I had to work and he won. Please make it make sense to me. Must I be a member before you come and become an agent? Now these people are changing narratives. They are trying to make it look difficult for some certain persons. If you're going out there to go and make it make sense to people, they ask you, then who is the who is the presidential candidate? She been article we won't work for. Now line, I know what happen. Some persons now, like I will employ Grandmaster and some other people that have the receipt. Please start letting it fly. There's a lot of paid agent. I told it to the guy that called himself the enemy. That called himself comrade that is not comrade, but enemy of progress. That is who he is. Some of them are paid. They are paid agents. They live by airspace. What they pay them some people 20,000, 30,000 to buy data. Receipts are there. You cannot deceive people. Is it the kind of persons you want to be shouldering with? One of them was saying that call Trudeau and call Avery. We made them go, they debate it. I said, please, it will be, in fact, it will be a disservice for that poor guy for him to go and be standing with Avery. Where did Avery they pull now? She can't even pull 100. All this they call coalition, let us make peace. That peace is not peace, you know. It can't peace. Please, the next thing I want us to be pushing out here is first, we need to be bringing out this guy called Atiku. He played a politics of religion. Yes, you cannot shy away from it. Stop fooling us. We are not children. This guy, 2023, he played the politics of religion. He went to the North, people start telling them it's the thought of the North. Played a religion, ethnicity, he was playing it at full, at brim. Put it out there. We enough of you people coming here to come and stand at defensive place. Push it out there. They want bomber to bomber. Give it to them. Sled to hammer to sledgehammer. Enough of all this partisan game. You guys are too, stop that. You people are too docile. You allow those people to come in here. They have somebody that they call war baby. I call him war toddler. They have another guy called the people, well paid people. They position themselves for them to get appointment. Thief. They do not care for the innocent masses who are suffering all this economic people don't mistake. Baba, they go meet us for gun. I bet you one thing. Me, I go walk. I will never cannot expose myself. But the truth is this: we dey wait. May they make that mistake. But please, I beg all of you, if you have any of that receipts, start flying it. Enough of shilling some people. All these political jobbers on X that they paid already, they do not care. Put out the receipts. They've all collected. You people are just shooting them. Priscilla, you are there when I was ranting, when I was shouting. They said I was ranting. I was saying it the way it is. These people, you don't go on and call to them and start joining issues with them. No. Enough of all this. If you know that these people are not for us, yes, I said this in the kingdom of heaven. There's no peace. Yes. Lucifer decided to take leadership. What happened? God kicked him out. There was war. They fought. Who won? God won and kicked him out and said, woe to earth, because the accuser of the brethren has now come in your midst. Yes, ADC, we have the accuser of the brethren. He has entered our midst. So what do? You fight it and kick him out. So do the replication of what the heaven did. Yes, the accuser of the brethren has entered in our midst. Is in the ADC. What do? Fight him out and push all of them out. So if it's for us to go out there, let's make it right. If they say no, they want to handpick this guy and give him the ticket and he does it as usual. We don't know his talent now. Because before now, if I don't go Dubai, fly go there. But no, he waits. He systematically use idea to wait. What he wants is to galvanize all the voters of this P2B and now bring him on his side and start fronting. Please look at what is going on right now. There was a lady that came on Arise TV. I don't know her name. It was one PDP chieftain that had to please, don't come there. We don't need your help. Be going. There's no Christian genocide. Excuse me. I've heard this not once, not twice from people from ADC. Say, mistake, bring that guy. Now failure. You see that many bed, you don't lose that. My families are there. You don't lose that. I know go win anything. I know they hide anything. I think we will not win anything. Even in Lagos, now you know go get anything. That one where they even do. What do they carry for Lagos now? Let's look the record. What did he carry? Nothing. So enough of this idea. Yes, Priscilla, well done. General, well done. But please, why people are not really pushing this thing forcefully the way they should, like they did for LP, is because they are seeing an accuser of the brethren in the midst working, and we know him. The accuser of the brethren is there. Is a political spoiler. Please, until we expunge this person away, then we cannot get this right. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, Kingsman. See, you're a ninja already. Verified. Sifu, you have a disciple in the making. All right. Before we take smart ballot, because it was supposed to be Chief B before we gave the pathway to General. So Chief B, you will go on, then we'll come to smart ballot so that you can give us the exclusive on that application.
Oh, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Excellent. Yeah, so I mean, I am well done, General, and thank you for all you do. But what I can see, about 2026 is that it's actually kind of different in so many ways from 2022. In 2022 there was clarity as to Peter Obi's presidential ambition, so it was very easy for everyone to go all out as much as they wanted to. But now, these children of partition who do not know their right from their left are creating a lot of problems for everybody. Before Peter Obi joined the ADC, there was uncertainty. A lot of us were caught in between whether Peter Obi is joining a platform that can help correct the errors of 2023, i.e. protect the votes and bring to the fore, political experience to help corral and funnel all of the efforts, towards victory. Or whether Peter Obi is walking into, the den of political opportunists and manipulators whose only interest is just to use his name and that of his followers to legitimize the platform that they wanted to use. So the uncertainty was there. But when Peter Obi joined, it made things a little bit better. But now we have a different kind of problem in our hand now with all of these. I don't like to use negative words, but they know themselves. These are just little children with no experience, nothing. They just think they can come and talk and just get everybody. I mean, these are just generally dumb people who don't understand the political environment. They don't know nothing about Nigeria. They're actually creating problems, and they are a serious drag on the momentum that is supposed to immediately follow after Peter Obi joined the ADC. Because, they are now, when Peter Obi joined, there was a little bit of positive, there was a little bit of excitement. Everybody was thinking that, okay, maybe Peter Obi has done his calculation and he now knows that the coast is clear. That this is why he joined the ADC. But afterwards, we are now seeing some people moving mad, just doing all sort of nonsense. And for somebody like me, I'm not even feeling like, look, what the heck? Let me hold on and see what Peter Obi wants to do. Because from what we're hearing from some of these people, it might appear as if Peter Obi may agree to be VP. God forbid. Of course, it does not exist to some of us. If Peter Obi agrees to be anything other than presidential candidate, case closed. In fact, I will not even act as if I ever come across him. That's how terrible I will feel about it. But I trust Peter Obi more than that. I think it's more tactical, because the reality on ground is that, the gloves are off now because people have decided to be stupid. Apart from the fact that, there's some southern sentiment, depending on who you ask. Whether you like it or not, the insecurity that is currently ravaging the country is courtesy the fertile ground that has been created in the north. The north is the logistics base, support base of these terrorists. How is anybody in their right mind thinking that Nigerians will start falling over themselves to hand over leadership of the country to somebody from that part of the country? Let's say the truth the way it is. Sometimes we try to keep some of these things away so that people don't get offended, but it looks like people just have decided to remain senseless. We try to tell them and hold back some things, but they are just not willing to listen. So take Peter Obi out of the picture. There is a general, anyway, let me not say that. But the truth of the matter is that these guys are just not sensible, and they are pushing some of us to a place where we'll just even scatter everything. Okay? If you are insinuating that every point in time when we need to take a decision, some certain part of the country must always be the one to, pay the sacrifice and be the understanding one. It's just like every time you get on an aircraft, you're always the one that they are asking to go to take care of the people at the exit. I don't know if you get that. It has happened to me a couple of times. When you are flying and you happen to be sitting at the exit, they will tell you that in case of any emergency, are you willing to help? And then they will say, when anything happens, you should open the door and hold the door and allow people to, okay. So this is what exactly these guys are asking us to do. Every time there is need to make a sacrifice, they will always ask us to make the sacrifice. And when you even ask that, why do you want me to make sacrifice? For who? For Atiku? I mean, come on. See, let's even take Peter Obi out of this conversation. Atiku versus Tinubu in 2027, they have nothing on each other. Let's not kid ourselves. You see, one of the problems that I have with some of our people is that they believe that Tinubu is the only one capable of taking Nigeria to this low. You'll be shocked what some people have in stock, because it's causing so much pain now, and it will cost more if we are not smart enough to take him out in 2027. You have not seen anything. Don't worry. All this noise that people are making, they're doing. Don't worry. Just wait. You think you have seen insecurity and dictatorship and oppressive tax regime and a monarchical kind of government. You have not seen anything. Don't worry. Just calm down. Just let this your foolishness make you, extend its tenure beyond 2027. Then you would see the difference between 6 and half a dozen. Okay, So, Jago, it's just unfortunate that people cannot understand that the only curved ball that can be thrown at APC in 2027 is for the North to truly and genuinely back a Southern candidate. Let's even take out the names. Everybody believes that it is impossible. Everybody believes that an average Northerner thinks that an average Southerner is inferior to them. Not everybody, but a lot of the Northern people, they have that sense of entitlement. And you wonder, where exactly is this coming from? I mean, what exactly have they contributed to this country to warrant that sense of entitlement? That's a question we need to ask. Some of these things we've been holding back, but when it appears as if these people have just decided to be childish and stupid, and they are not holding back, they are not stopping, then we have to bring these things to the public. What exactly have these guys contributed for? I'm not saying they don't deserve the right to be Nigerians. I'm not saying they should be deprived their rights. But why are they trying to convert this country to an animal farm, or the animal farm where some animals are more equal than others? In fact, if anybody should be making that kind of claim, it should be the Southerners, for obvious reasons. The insecurity that is almost crippling this country today is being provided literally from this part of the country. The crude oil proceeds that is making the politicians die over themselves. That's making, a lot of these politicians wouldn't have dared contest for any elections in this country, if not because of oil asset and oil money. Let's say the truth. Both North and South, this is really the attraction. If oil stops today, everybody will go back today. You see this Nigeria situation that is looking difficult and complicated. If oil stops to flow today and gas dries up, everybody will you will see everybody will sit down that there's nothing we're fighting for. Let's go and sit down. They say a region of the country is producing the money that is sustaining the country. Another region is bringing in security. And it's that same region that some people are saying should be. Anyway, let me know. Because I don't know. Let me leave it.
My brother. I think I'm so sorry, but I'm just uncomfortable. You have
I know, Kenny.
but we can.
Kenny, calm down. You don't know what some of us have had.
I mean, I can't calm down. It's just throwing a.
Kenny,
I believe we can be critics. We can lay our criticism without.
Kenny,
I understand, but
Kenny, it is you see, the truth of the matter is that you've not heard some things. I know why I'm saying what I'm saying. You've not been
understand, but maybe it's not okay.
Do you know that a Space Force was comparing Peter Obi's ability to speak to one nonentity, one ragamuffin, it is sometimes you feel like crying. So it is deeply painful. It is not because these guys have any statistical significance. It is just because you are wondering how people can be so deeply unintelligent and such a waste of space. And then you are so unfortunate to even ever encounter them. Okay, so this is the tragedy. That because you come on space and you just want to come and maybe listen to some intellectual speeches, then you encounter these people. You have the likes of Avery and all and his cohorts. These guys are literally, I'm not sure they understand the kind of damage they are doing to themselves, because these things run much deeper than some of them who are just little children. They don't know anything, and I'm sorry, their parents have not taught them well. Because anybody who understands the history of this country would know that one of the biggest problems that we have is that there seem to be a lot of inequity and injustice and unfair practices in this country. That's why you have terrorism. Yes, Jago, I see your hand. That's why you have a lot of criminality, because people are doing what they can do. If nobody comes to your aid, you do what you can do. If a Yoruba president is there, the judge is Yoruba, everybody is Yoruba, everything is Yoruba. If you are not Yoruba, you cannot get anything. If a Fulani president is there, everything, you can't run a country like that. So the only thing I'll wrap up on this note that will give us stability and relief and a sense of hope looking into the future in 2027. Forget about the names, forget about the characters. It's for the North to go against the grain for once and throw their weight behind a Southern candidate of their choice. Mind my word, I'm not even doing politics now. I'm just talking about what should be common sense. If people are really truly interested in a country that works, if anybody believes in one Nigeria, the commonsensical thing to do in 2027 is for the North. So you may not like Peter Obi, I don't care. He's my candidate. You have the right to choose your candidate. But the principle should be the North should galvanize and support a Southern candidate of their choice. And of course, not Atiku. I mean, apart from, anyway, let me just yield the floor for now, because I have so many terrible things to say, but I'm still holding back. But if these guys continue to move mad the way they are moving mad, then, the next thing I'm going to do is to remove everything ADC from my district. I'm going to retire from ADC and become neutral so that I can talk freely. Thank you very much. I yield.
Well, as a chieftain of ADC that I am, I will indulge that you hold your fire pending, the radical resolution that we will bring from within. Trust that we will not disappoint you, my brother. Yeah. But well, my brother, nobody dey wrong go anywhere. No, we're not going to do it like with this thing where you talk now, the idea of 2022, we know they run like that. Everybody go the idea. We go rough run. I know they come out anything ADC. You the old ADC this thing. Myself they create my own. Everybody go on. There is no monopoly of madness in this business. Everybody can go mad. We're laughing, we're weary. All right, let's quickly turn the conversation to Smart Ballot, and he's here to give us just 20 minutes religiously. Please keep to it, so that we can move on. General, please. Here is a Smart Ballot for you, and those of us who are just hearing about it for the first time.
Thank you so much, Jagan, for the opportunity to speak on your space. And greetings to everyone that is listening. To some of us that are recently or just hearing about Smart Ballot for the first time, I would like you to pay very close attention so you can be able to understand how we work and the reason why we created this software. Before I start, I also want to recognize General Oluchi for the amazing job you do on the grassroots. We follow religiously what you do, and we appreciate the efforts that you put and all you've done so far. And other individuals here as well, LP, we see you, Florence, Kolade, and all that are currently on Smart Ballot, also using it for various forms of grassroots mobilization. We also acknowledge the job and the efforts that all of you also put on in your respective areas as well. Now, I will start by mentioning or highlighting some of the challenges that we do have right from 2023 election and how Smart Ballot helps us address those challenges at this moment, going into the next election, 2027. One of the biggest issues is grassroots mobilization. Our plan with Smart Ballot is to ensure that we overwhelm each of the polling units with voters. because we understand that elections are won and lost at the polling units. The polling units are so important, and that's why you see politicians on election day, they come to polling units with money, with cash to bribe people. If the polling units are not so important, they wouldn't be doing that, because our politicians are so greedy. They don't want to even waste the money they stole from the national purse. How we do it, it's our app is structured in such a way that as you join the platform, it's organized the national movement down to polling units. So you have the national group. Think of it more like a WhatsApp group, community group, where you have the community where everyone can see the conversations going on across. In addition to this community, you have breakout chat groups on the app for each of the 176,846 polling units in Nigeria. So for each of these polling units, they have exclusive, secure, private chat room. As you join the app, to join the app also is only on invitation base only. A member of the movement has to invite you, and we verify all the members before you come in. As you come in, you're going to select your state, your local government, your ward, and your polling unit. And then after the verification and you join, the app automatically places you in the correct polling unit chat group so that you can meet other voters registered already on that polling unit. You all can privately plan, strategize, chat, discuss on how you want to go about your grassroots mobilization activities, maybe door-to-door campaign in your respective areas. You can plan those in confidence. When you belong to your private polling unit chat group, you cannot see conversations or chats going on in other private polling unit chat groups. So we kept it that exclusive to the members voting in each of these polling units for them to be able to plan accordingly. So we also have a system whereby each voter that joins, you have a minimum of 5 other voters to bring on board. The plan is, if we start with 1 voter in each of the polling units, and then you invite 5 voters. If these 5 voters all bring 5 voters, each one of them, that gives us 25 voters. If each of these 25 voters all bring 5 voters themselves, that gives us 125 voters. We do have 176,846 polling units in Nigeria. And then if we have 125 voters in each of these polling units, you multiply it by the total number of polling units we have in Nigeria, we're going to have 22.1 million plus voters on the election day. With that number of voters on the election day, PO is going to win his election conveniently. So that is how we organize that. To also help kick off this, we incentivize this mobilization in such a way, because we understand, after our needs assessments, we see that most of the challenges our people have, our voters, some of them have the issue or challenges with data. Maybe for them to be able to invite others online through WhatsApp, send them the link for them to join, or send them the link via Twitter for them to also join. So we incentivize this, so that way we're also rewarding them for their mobile data for them to be able to do this job. So now, for us to reward anyone, we set a target. For every 5 voters each voter or each person brings, we have a set reward system that we give to them. At the moment, we give them 3,000 Naira for that. Now, it's something that is also subject to review and change as we grow on. We already have lots of voters already mobilized through this, hundreds of them. Another challenge that we also have is there are so many voters that do not have access to smartphones. They cannot download the app. They cannot come online. Maybe the elderly ones, some of the ones that live in some communities, in some areas that they can't either afford phone or they don't have access to smartphones. So what we have here on the app is that we created what we call offline voters notepad in each of the polling unit breakout chat groups on this app. So as you're in your polling unit, let's say you're a voter, you speak with someone in your area. They do not have a smartphone, they can't download the app. Now, what do? You click on your offline voters notepad. You'll be able to write their names. You ask you if they have PVC, you select yes or no. You verify that information from them. And then you also put up their phone number that you can call them. And you add a note. Maybe you've contacted them, they're interested in voting PO. They want you to pick them up on election day. You know, whatever the discussion that it is that you have with them, you put it up there. Now, when you put it up there in each of your polling units, the app automatically tabulates this and keep track of all the total number of these voters that do not have smartphones, that we have their contacts to call them on the election day. It tabulates this information across all the 176,000 plus polling units. Now, let's say we manage to have 50-50 names across all the polling units in Nigeria. That comes up to around 8.5 million names that we're going to have. So if you come on the group bio page, you can see the count, the total number of voters we already have registered on this offline voters notepad. So that way, we or the admins or the voters will know, okay, we already have 8-point-something million voters that are not here. You can also see the number, the count of those voters, how many polling units that we have covered so far in Nigeria. You can see them, both online and offline. You see, in each polling unit that, let's say, we have 160 voters here, now we have 40-something voters, you can track it. So that way we are not faced with the challenge that we had in the last election, whereby LP could not even give us a proper count of how many polling unit agents that we had in each polling unit. So now we are not just tracking agent, which I will explain later as you know in this conversation, how we track that. But we're not just tracking just polling unit agent, we're also tracking how many voters we do have. Now remember, our target on this app is a minimum of 125. We can have more. So far, as of now, we have covered over 500 polling units in Nigeria that we have registered voters in. We have a whole lot of job left to do. In some of these polling units, we have already, it's over 160 voters registered. In some, we have 47 voters registered. In some, we have 30-something. We have various numbers. We have a whole lot now that we have covered. However, the number is still scaling up. And on a day-to-day basis, if you're already on the platform, now we are doing between 50 to 70 voters that we mobilize every day through the online process. So if you're there, you're able to see all this yourself. Now, one other challenge, which General Oluchi also mentioned, was our ability to defend our vote on the election day. That was one of the biggest challenges that we had in the past election. To also help us do better here, we created what we call the PU watchers, the polling unit watchers. These are our volunteer security team on ground in each polling unit. So from these minimum of 125 voters we're going to have in each polling unit, we verify some of them that volunteer in each of these polling units as they volunteer through the application and the request or submit, we verify them. As we verify them and accept them, automatically, once they are accepted, they'll be placed in a separate, secure polling unit chat, polling unit watchers chat group, where they can meet other watchers like themselves, where they can privately discuss how they want to go about protecting or defending their votes on the election day. In 2023, there was a time in one of these Twitter spaces when we discussed, the Obidients discussed about how to protect the votes. We mentioned that, okay, on election day, everybody should bring out their dogs and, all those kind of things to the polling unit. Before the next day, Nigerian police issued a statement, a nationwide statement on all their handles, saying that bringing dogs to polling units violates a certain right, that anybody who does that will be arrested and imprisoned. They made a whole lot of threats there. So to avoid all those kind of issues whereby we discuss our affairs in the open, in the public spaces, we created those private rooms. So that way these watchers can easily discuss how we want to go about defending our vote on election day. Our plan is to have a minimum of 5 to 10 volunteer security team in each of the 176,000 plus polling units in Nigeria. So far, we already have a whole lot that also already volunteered for this. And the app also allow us track the total numbers that we have in each polling unit, how many polling unit that is remaining, and those kind of stuffs. The next challenge that we also had in the last election was polling unit agent. So here, we are not waiting or going to wait until the election period or election month to start scrambling, looking for agent. We already started tracking and organizing our agent for each of the polling units. These are volunteer core obedience that wants to be the agent. So as they volunteer on the platform, as we also verify and assess them, the app allows us to have for each polling unit, 1 main agent and 2 backup agents. Should in case if for whatever reason the main agent gets compromised, or maybe something happened, there are unforeseen circumstances. A million things can happen to someone in Nigeria. So for whatever reason, if the main agent, something happens to him or her, so that way we have backup agents. Now for each of these polling units, it is well represented and we track it based on each polling unit. I know the polling unit that are left and the ones that we already covered. As the agents are selected, again, they are automatically placed in a private group where all the agents can easily discuss, all the training can be held. Now, however, we understand that one person can be compromised and then that individual might want to compromise others. So we build the system in such a way that these agents, they are more like ghosts in their groups. None can see each other's handle. None can track each other's identity. And then we also use this AI to verify the information, the level of chats that goes on there. If any kind of things like phone numbers, digits, emails are shared, we track those and we automatically flag such agents. And then also we have a system whereby we have, at the moment, we plan to have one polling unit admin, one admin in each of the polling units in Nigeria. So right now, as we scale up, we are adding more admins. So we have, I believe, around either between 20-something to 30-something admin now that we've covered. So we are still accepting the admin and we are still verifying them. So all these admins also have oversight of the chat that is going on in the group. So that way, if they also see stuff that the AI misses, they can easily flag those stuffs. So we want to be able to train the agent properly in this their group, so that way we update them and also we equip them as they go into the election. And we have a proper tool to also pay them through the app in a transparent way. And all payments are transparently shared in the general announcement page. So that way everybody can follow up with the ledger and see all the transaction details and how everything is all done properly on there. Like I mentioned, we didn't just build the platform to accept voters randomly. Those coming from online, for instance, on this Jumbotron here, we do have the link for you to click and join this group. So we encourage all the obedience here. You can give it a try. You can click up on the link that you see on the Jumbotron, you'll join. However, when you join the group or when you request to join this group, you are not going to be automatically accepted. One of the things that it will require from you is for you to place your social media link. So with this social media link, both our admins are going to carefully verify your social media handles and see the kind of conversations or opinion you have online with regards to our candidate. We also have AI that we use to also verify this so that we can comb through your social media and see if you're someone that have been against some, maybe let's say you've been tweeting constantly against P2B, for instance, so that we can easily flag you off and send you off to the admins for them to manually verify you. So the admins can easily click, see all your conversations on your social media, that kind of stuff before they verify you. And then for those that do not have social media handles, then we verify them through the individuals that are also referring them to the group. So we have the hybrid systems of verification that we do. And like I mentioned at the beginning, we don't accept everyone. It's just on invite only. Obidients in there have to send you an invitation for you to join. That's how we grow this stuff. Now there are multiple or many other functionalities that we have, but Jago gave me only 20 minutes. I will stop here. If anybody do have any questions, I'll be open to answer any of the questions. And maybe those can also open up some other functionalities that we do have there, which will allow me to be able to explain them in more details. Thank you so much, Jago. And thank you all for listening.
Definitely, Kingsley. And I appreciate that exclusive, very detailed. I'm sure that we would have some other questions that will come, which would require you to look into the components within the application. But in the meantime, guys,
I don't know.
Please, I'm getting a feedback here. In the meantime, the application is on the Jumbotron. Please avail yourself with it. Let me lead with this question as we use the mic. In the meantime, I'm going to take about 15 minutes to deal with questions around the smart ballot. And I don't know if General Lucci will be would want to ask questions around it. I haven't listened. But in the meantime, please download. And I'm going to lead with this question. Kingsley, there are those who have been asking, and I think I have asked you before, but I would ask for emphasis sake. For those who uses iOS, how would they be partakers?
The app is available both for Android and iOS. Nobody's left out.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Let's take all right. Since it was General Lucci who requested, we'll lead this section with General Lucci. Please go ahead.
Give me 1 second. Let me get into a quiet room. Hold on.
All right.
Okay. Thank you for the explanation. I listened. Thank you. I also took notes as I was listening, just so I understand exactly what this app is. And my first question is this only for the obedient movement or is it for the entire country? Both party in any political party?
Good question. It is for supporters of PO. It's available or open to everyone from all parts of Nigeria because we track all the voters from the 36 states plus FCT. However, we do not want APC modes inside it. We don't want that kind of infiltrations. So we want only those that are going to be voting for PO. So if it's an obedient and you're mobilizing voters, let's say first-time voters or other voters who are interested in voting for PO in the next election, then it's for you. But if you're a core supporter of Tinubu, you just want to come in here to spy and see what is going on, then it's not for you and we will not be accepting such individuals. Thank you.
So after P2B, what happens to the app? How do you continue to run it or you just dissolve it?
Good. Now the app is ongoing. It doesn't end after P2B because it's all about the new Nigeria that we want to build. So after PO, it's still going to be continuous. And we have other features that are also going to be engaging because we have the features like the candidate recall systems, which is how we plan to hold the elected House of Reps members, senators, and all those kind of things accountable as we move on. So the app is still ongoing. as we decide on who else to maybe endorse in the near future, it's not just me, because all of us have a minds of our own. So it's a selective stuff that all of us, when we choose a candidate that represents our ideology, or maybe represent that new Nigeria that we want, all of us still work together to build such individuals or support such candidates.
Okay, so here's why I'm asking this. If this app is only for P2B supporters, then if after P2B supporters are, they evolve, they move around, they go from supporting P2B and supporting somebody else. Maybe the person's mind changed after P2B and they decide to support somebody in PDP or even Tinubu's son, for example. How do you ensure that this person who was back in 2026 supporter of P2B but now supporting Tinubu's son is no longer in the group when you move it around to somebody else? I guess what I'm trying to understand is, if you say that this is for the new Nigeria, then a new Nigeria should not be just focused on P2B, even though this is P2B's language. This is his mantra, that a new Nigeria is possible. But then everybody understands a new Nigeria, in different view. So if you make it about Obi, that means there are thousands of Nigerians, even those who are not thousands, millions, even those who are unsure who to support at that point, who cannot join the group. And that's fine. There are so many exclusive groups out there for each political party. But then when you say that after P2B, you move on to the next candidate that you'd like to support, it's going to be difficult for the members who have already been there years before to continue to support, because now it seems like they will either have to continue supporting the person the admins of the group chose for them. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying here.
Yes, I do understand what you're saying, but however, that's not how it works on the platform. It's not the admins who choose the candidate. Like I mentioned, it's the group that chooses the candidate. And then when we get to that point, we are going to have a poll in the group that the members, the voters themselves, because every voter have the minds of their own. The reason why you see all of us
Yes.
follow through is not because the obedient leadership asked us to. Before the obedient leadership or the admins were formed, they were obedient. So the reason why you see all of us follow through is not because the admins or the leadership ask us to do that. It's because all of us agree jointly that this is the individual we believe or we see that can help us get to this new Nigeria. And that is also how as in picking the candidate is going to be done in the near future. And then that's fine. If anyone, let's say at any point, falls out with the group, does not support the group, or does not belong, or maybe whatever the group ideology is, does not represent that anymore, we have the mute button to ensure that such individual does not infiltrate or maybe bring divided opinion in the group. So that way he or she can be removed from the group if at any point their ideology shifts from the group's ideology. And then if in the future, let's say somebody that supports Tinubu decides to evolve and then they are now aligned with this group ideology, just like if you back up in 2023, there were so many people who voted for Tinubu who are not going to be voting for him in the 2027. Now, such individual, we are open to working with them as well. And we accept them because we know their opinion, or maybe they have seen things differently now. However, we have to still verify them to be sure that their ideology aligns with our new Nigerian ideology. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, let me move on to the next question that I have. Has Obi publicly acknowledged this?
No, we have not done so on his group, but we are working also with most of the people in the leadership of the P2B. The Obidient, and then also including Tanko. His team also knows about the application as well.
Well, if you ask me, Obi has to publicly acknowledge this act. But anyway, my next question is: you mentioned you said there are volunteers for your security team, people who volunteer to monitor election and report back and stuff like that. These volunteers, how do you ensure that they stay motivated during the election? Because the reason I'm saying this is Back in 2023, the problems we noticed, and I know a lot of people are not going to agree, but these are just one of the things that APC and PDP presented to the judiciary. This is why they insist that Obi did not win, blah, blah, blah. It was that there were lack of polling unit agents. And it seems like some of those polling unit agents initially volunteered, or maybe those who volunteered thought they would be available, and eventually something happened. Something happened. Some of them were, some of them were not. The reason why polling unit agents are important is so that they can, it's not just being a polling unit, you have to actually follow through the process of being a polling unit agent, and that includes having a copy of your EC8. That EC8, when I understand it as when people go to vote, the INEC officials who conducted the vote in there, once they tabulate all the votes counted in front of everybody, they tear out a copy and give to the polling unit agent. That copy serves as a receipt of what happened in that particular polling unit. So if there are thousands of polling units in Nigeria, then there has to be thousands of copies of EC8. So that if that number changes at the collation centers, then you can easily come up and say, here's a copy of what we witnessed, and here's a copy of what did not follow through. So now, back to my question. How do you ensure that this polling unit, even the security people, I know that the volunteer security are specifically for the app, and then there are polling unit agents that will have to work closely to ensure that the INEC process goes through, the election process goes through with INEC. How do you ensure that these people are motivated? A volunteer means I will do it, but there's really nothing that make me feel like I might change my mind tomorrow, and there's really nothing you can hold me on.
Good. Good question. When I was speaking, I did mention that for each of the polling unit agents that we do have in each polling unit, we have 2 backup agents from that specific polling unit. If for whatever reason the main one is no longer motivated, or we have reasons to doubt his motivations, we have backups to replace them at any point in time. And the reason we do that is because we started selecting from now until then, maybe into February, when the election is going to happen. So we are not faced with a whole bunch of disgruntled people, agents, and we don't have the room to change them when the election gets closer. So we have that number as we go into the election. That is one way there. And then also, each of these groups are structured down to their basis. Like when I mentioned at the beginning with regards to how we have the breakout chat groups, for each breakout chat room, it is for that specific polling unit. So we have groups, multiple groups of 176,846 for each of these polling units. And each one of them have an admin there, and it has voters there. So if at any point in time, let's say this individual who is the agent, the group, the people, the voters in that polling unit believe that he's no longer, or he does no longer align with this movement, they'll be able to see or identify that. If at any point this is flagged up, we replace them right away. There are no questions around that. We replace such individual. And then also, our also rewards them for their work on the day of the election. So let's assume we decide to now they usually pay the polling unit agents for them to do their job. Let's assume we decide to pay them. We have the system, the infrastructure to decide to even release their fund 1 week, 2 weeks, few days before the election day. And then they will see their money in their wallet, in their private or individual wallet on the app. They will see we have paid them already, so that their money is still there, but they cannot withdraw it because we'll place a hold there for them on the wallet. So they'll have to complete their tax, which we are going to set for them, or whatever tax that we select for them. They're going to complete them on the polling unit on that day to be able to earn the money. And as they are completing the tax, the money is being released bit by bit, according to the tax they are completing. So they are also earning the cash, their money also on that election day. So we have multiple layers or multiple systems to ensure that if there are any infiltrations or disgruntled agents on that day, that we replace them before the election day. Thank you.
So then I'm guessing you have a robust employee team to track all this, track everybody, monitor all this as, assuming the election is starting in a few days, you have everybody's eye, because obviously it's not going to be one person monitoring multiple polling unit agents and all that. I'm just guessing that, based on what you've described, you have a large employees or admins who are tracking all this as it happens.
We will have 176,846 admins, one admin for each of the polling units. And we also have lots of requests already from those that are already registered. As of now, we have over 27 different admins, and they are more than enough to track the activities that we currently do have now going on the application. So as we are now, if anybody requests, like I see a whole lot of requests that we are being submitted now, the admins are on ground verifying them, and they're also accepting them and approving them or maybe rejecting them as required. And these are core obedience. I am not the only one who wants this new Nigeria. There are so many people, thousands or millions of us who wants this same thing. So as much as I am highly motivated, there are others that are equally triple motivated than myself. So these individuals are all down working with us, and they are all willingly and happily doing so. So I can't mention names, but even in the northern part, we have a whole lot of state coordinators that are already come on board. They are pledging to bring in thousands of all their structures and all those stuffs there on the ground. And they are doing so highly motivated as well, because they have seen that based on what they can see so far, that this offers them a very robust way to be able to track the activities of their voters on the ground. So that way you don't have somebody who is boo-booing you online, who is telling you how they mobilize or how they talk to everybody in their community, how they did this and did that, and then they have photo ops and sent to us. You don't have those kind of things. And then on the election day, you don't have anybody show up. As they are saying those, you're able to verify and track that activity, that action. If they say we talk to 10 people, you will see that 10 people. You're able to track it yourself. So we have many of these such coordinators that are also on board who are willing and very much motivated, just like each one of us here.
Okay. And have you presented this app to INEC I'm not saying hand it over to INEC, but just to more like make it more, I know it's official, but just to make it more official, because obviously you're going to be, or maybe you haven't thought about it, maybe tapping certain informations from INEC, as you continue to onboard people into the app. Have you had any conversations with INEC regarding the future of this app, making it, more like they can recognize it as something that is beneficial to the voters?
Our fight is against both INEC and against Tinubu. So as we are preparing to go against them, and we are not going to be presenting the app to them because we are going to be checkmating them with the application. So we can't present it to them because they do not have any form of engagement or activities or any action on the platform. Our app is not going to be used for voting, which is where we are going to cross line with INEC. Our app is going to be used to mobilize our people to the polling unit and to checkmate the system we have. So if INEC, security force, and APC unleash their thoughts, we have our own counter force on the ground. So if INEC and APC dare rigs the election, we have to produce our counter force. And we cannot go and tell them how we prepare. We won't do that. So no, we have not presented it to INEC, and we do not wish or intend to do so, but we are going to do everything in line legally to ensure that we abide by the Constitution and the guidelines. So that way, even if INEC raises any concern, we are within our legal bandwidth to be able to do so. Thank you.
Okay. The reason I asked this, I just thought about more like streaming certain things that shows. I don't know if INEC plans to use iRev again, but some of their maps and certain information that they post on iRev that could be streamed on your app, so that your users can be in one platform instead of logging here, logging there, trying to check this. But I'm not pushing. I'm just like trying to as you're describing, I'm thinking about it, wondering how much more it can, how much bigger it can be, basically. my last question before I drop off. Is this app able to shoot instant messaging or more like newspaper to all the users? Like when you wanted to send, if you want to send a broadcast, can you immediately send it from your back end and then everyone gets it either via text message or email?
Thank you so much. So right now, there are hundreds, if not thousands of messaging going on day to day on the platform. It works pretty much like WhatsApp. You see how you're able to send messages and stuff through WhatsApp. That's how people interact there. So the people on the platform in the main announcement group, if you join it now, you'll see them, everybody chatting and discussing, planning, whatever things they do right there. In their respective polling units, breakout rooms as well, they also do the same thing. So they are all individually engaging, chatting and discussing and having all those conversations. So if there are some messages or some things or conversations that need to be shoot or communicated to the group, let's say the leadership wants to share an information and they want a centralized place to do so, they can do so on the announcement page, which is the general announcement page. Once they drop that announcement, all the Obidients from all across 36 states, all across 176,000 plus polling units, they all get it instantly within that minute. They're able to act on that. So yes, you do have that conversation, that chat structure, the infrastructure and everything is there. And to also mention...
only for those... Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, you can answer. I will come back
I was
to
just
that.
going to ask, and that's for people who have access to the app. But when you were presenting this initially, you mentioned that there are people who do not have smartphone capabilities on their phone that someone has to enroll or introduce or somehow. So how do you reach those who do not have access, who do not, I mean, there are lots of Nigerians whose phone cannot they don't want to download or something like that. How do you reach those people?
Brilliant question. Now, that's where our offline voter notepad comes in. Like I mentioned when I was explaining, all voters, each of the voters is able to click, add the contact number, the name of the individual, and a brief note indicating the individual have PVC or not, and submit for each of the polling units. Now, at the end of the submission, the app calculates all those, and the admins can see how many we have across. Now, let's say leading up to this 2027 election, we have 8.5 million that we already have on there. 50-50 names from each of the polling units. Now, the only person on the app that can see the contact number of these voters that are registered in their groups, in their polling units, is the group admin in that group. So the group admin can see the phone numbers. All the voters, when you open it up, you will see only the name. You will not see the phone numbers because to ensure the data protection stuff is maintained. Now, this group admin is the individual that can call these voters few days to the election to make preparations. Now, each group have an admin. Each group, now let's say you have 50 numbers or names to call on the election. When you tap on on the phone number on the app, it opens up and allows you to call their phone number directly from the app, not app to app now, from the app to their cell phone. So that way you're calling their number, even if they don't have the app downloaded. So the admin call the 50 names they have in their groups, and that way they keep track of that, update it. If these individuals, they are going to pick them up on the election day, they can make the arrangements. If these individuals, they want them to come out to so and so place on the election day, they will make the arrangements because they know they live in that area. They make these arrangements and preparations with these voters in their community. So that way they pick them up. If they want to pick them up, all of them can go together to the polling unit. They make that arrangement. Now, when each of the admins call 50-50 persons, it could take them maybe an hour or two to call the number. But then when it happens around all these coordinated 176,000 plus polling units, they have already called 8.5 million number. So even if you double that number to 16 point something.
Do you strongly believe in this manual work that one person can call 50 people to pass a message? Because why I'm asking is, If you need something shared instantly, for example, I mean, it shouldn't just be about voting. If there was a chaos going on in a polling unit and you need to share that information with people who are already headed there, or to just basically tell them something, redirect something, is there no way to shoot this message instantly to people's phone without dragging them into the app or having someone manually alert them at every? I mean,
We
you don't
I
have
have
the
to
think I
answer,
think
but
option
just think
what you are
about it.
referring to is blasting bulk SMS to a database of numbers, or
Through the app.
blasting bulk email to a database of email address. I think the app can do that, right? Even if
we
the app does not have that functionality now, it can surely be added something.
we do
Okay, that's all
I
I
guess
just
that's
wanted
what
to
you are
know.
have
trying. I
that.
guess that's what you're trying to say.
Okay, if that's what you are asking, we have that done. Because even now, as you request to join, we send you a message, OTP in your email, and sorry, in your phone numbers and stuff. So we verify that we have that infrastructure, and then we can also utilize the infrastructure also to shoot up or blast an SMS on the election day. However, we also foresee the option Nigerian system, just like they did, Nigerian government, just like they did in the last election, whereby they turn off the bulk SMS. It wasn't delivering on the election day. So if that happens, so we have a backup system to also call the numbers. So we have the option to send SMS, bulk SMS, and we have the options to also call them.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you,
Jags,
I have a
Jags,
question.
General.
Jags,
Um,
Jags.
John,
Uh,
can you hear me?
and how many places do I want to go now? Dr. Royal's calling me, Chudo's calling me, Chris, you're full
Oh,
of shit,
okay.
too is calling me.
Is
I'm not
that his
full of
middle name
shit. Tudo
now?
is fucking full of shit. I wanted to
Yeah.
quickly say that there is a an aspect, or an area where I would like us not to even drag this conversation, because, and it's not just one person. I think it's all Nigerians. We like this thing. Is the bureaucracy you call it, Tudo? Where you feel that something has to pass through a table for it to be quote unquote official, that kind of a thing. So, in this regard, there is no way, there is no law in the world, absolutely none, where you determine how a citizen will react to how you want to marshal their vote, right? There are a thousand and one applications out there, independent application that people can use. Even legacy media uses them. Talk about your dashboard, talk about your aggregation systems and all of that, right? You don't tell CNN how they want to go about showing you what's going on the day. They might as well use W. They might as well just um, subscribe to a cloud space. You don't determine. INEC don't have a say in this one. So let's be careful how we say, oh, have you run this by INEC for INEC to stamp? No, no, they don't have a say. This is citizens'
That was
Mm.
not
Mm.
really my question, whether
No, no,
INEC
no,
has
no.
a
I'm not
say.
saying
What
that
I'm
was your
No,
question.
you
I'm
said let's
saying
be careful about that. That's not really what I'm asking. When I
no,
say,
no.
when I asked, I have a list of questions here that I needed to understand this is. I don't know if I've heard of this app before, but this is the first time I'm actually engaging and having someone answer my questions. When I
Mm-hmm.
say whether INEC is aware of it, is, I mean, you can partner with INEC and still have a different agenda for your app. INEC is not INEC. The people who work in INEC are the problem, not really the electoral body itself, the organization itself. You can
Yeah. So,
use
so that's
INEC's. You can pair INEC's. What is it? I can't think of the word right now. But
you are
some of the
thinking
things
about
that
iRev.
or iRev or even their website itself. Can somebody,
So
even if you're trying to make this app as a one, like a whole home where people come in and get things quicker that are not even iRev. I mean, you can even put in an external link that shoots directly to NA to register for PVC, check PVC status, stuff like that. And I don't know if that thing is openly available. Maybe INEC has to grant you the. That's just really what I'm
So,
saying.
so that is
So
why I say we should. How do you say it too? Let's not preempt ourselves. That is, we don't need that.
okay,
We
that's
don't. We
fine.
don't. We don't
It's fine.
need. Yeah, because you know what? The beauty of this is that I have had the opportunity to appreciate like more than four or five applications, like, and I'm so happy because they all do different things, like they all have different functionalities, right? There is one on this side, I won't even mention the name, but some of us here know that application I'm talking about, right? So how do you want to, basically what I'm just saying is, I said I will not swear again 2026, but
All right.
FINEC on the side, we don't need that. We don't need their system as it is
All
right
right.
now. To the INEC, IREV has votes that are still uploading, not up to 100%. So the question is, how did you guys arrive at
All right. I think I understand what General Lucci is saying
yeah.
perfectly. And I think I
Mm.
understand what you are saying as well. Let me just quickly throw in a question. Smart ballot. I'm on the. I think it's a brilliant concept. Thank you for doing it. I appreciate the walkthrough that you gave me the other day. Um, but as I was signing up, I just imagined the kind of concerns a potential user might have. For instance, the security of user information. So, are there things you can say to us, maybe to the extent that you can share, in terms of how you can guarantee the security of the information of users on the app?
Thank you so much, Tudoba. I think that's a brilliant question that you also ask. When it comes to user information, we guarantee 100% security on that. And I also want to mention that Smart Ballot is registered in Toronto, Canada. We are incorporated in Canada. We're also incorporated in Nigeria. So we play according to international data protection standard that is out there, set by both Canadian government, European government, and Nigerian government as well. So when it comes to data protection, we guarantee that. And then also on that data protection, we do not collect sensitive data. The data we collect is minor data, which are your phone numbers, your emails. We don't collect things like your PVC numbers. We don't collect your NIN numbers and all those kind of sensitive informations because we do not need it. Our app is not used or going to be used to vote on the election day through the INEC or whatever they have on the IREV. It's just to bring the people. So we use these data for the purpose that we set out to use them. Like the phone numbers, we want to verify that every person, that every voter that is registered here is a human because we do not want bots on the platform. We don't want fake accounts. So that's why we don't just rely only on the emails. We want to ensure they are real people coming on board. So when they come on board, we send them OTPs and they verify their phone numbers. That way we ensure they are legit individuals joining. And then also, that's pretty much what we use their phone numbers to do for them. And that we play according to what we said that we would do, or maybe how we utilize this data, like using the phone numbers to be able to verify messages and all those stuff. So yes, all the data that are collected on the platform are 100% protected and 100% secured. And we use multi-layer verification and encryption systems to protect that.
Now, I have a question. Hello?
Hang on.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought.
Go ahead.
All right. I thought Dr. Roya was to go before, but anyway, I don't know. Rock of Ages, please. Let's take our dear sister Abi Tudo.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So she can go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Good evening. Whenever you are, whatever time, where you are. Thank you so much for this app. I was trying to just do login and all that to register on the app to see what it looks like, and yeah, it looks pretty nice. I'm still on it. Okay, so sequel to General Ochianochi, well done. Thanks for the question. A long time I had you on the space. It was nice hearing your voice. Anyway, so yeah, well done. So based on what she was asking, okay, I was a polling unit agent in 2023. I was a polling unit agent in both at the unit and the polling unit, and I went on to the collation center to ensure that our votes were properly collated and also
transmitted, although we had those issues of IRF shutdown and all that. So one of the challenges I had during that last election was, while of course the polling unit was well catered for, we won at the polling unit, votes were properly counted, all the issues were settled, sure there was a success all the way on my end and around the point around me. But I got calls from other polling units. Ah, Doctor, where are you? Oh, you are your how is it happening on your side? And like, everything's going on well here. Ah, no, there's no polling unit agent in this place. Too many things are happening. And because of movement restrictions, we couldn't really move to that point. It was actually somewhere far in the city where I was, and we couldn't get to that point because of the movement restrictions. So even when you're blasting and saying, oh, okay, there's a message being passed across, something's happening here and here and here. The only time we could move was towards the end of the election, where we're all going to the polling units, going to the collation center to now collect. I mean, the people were moving. I was the one who carried my polling, what they call it, officers in my car. They didn't even have a way to go back. Imagine if I wanted to rig, I'll rig very well. Just lock them up somewhere and change all the figures, right? But I carried even the security man was in my car, carried them all in my car, and we all moved to the collation center. That's when we could move, because through all the police checkpoints, I used my doctor ID card and say, oh, I'm with these guys, we're going to drop the thing. So that's besides. So my point is, while you do all those bulk SMS, you send the messages around, blah, 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 how do people move to possibly rescue a polling unit? Because it's one thing to have polling unit agent, like I said, is for the other polling unit agent to come to be present that day at the election, because that's so key. Where the thing happens is at the polling, that's where it begins. The begin starts. So how do you ensure that was note was asking that everybody who says I'm going to be a polling unit agent gets there and do not call in sick or find one excuse or go get a cold feet or become liverless at the last minute. Okay, because it takes a lot to be at the polling unit. Then when there are crises in places, how do people move around? Would there be kind of security pass? Would it be like an ID card? Will the security agents be aware that this and so can move around? There are issues. Will you be allowed to move from place to place? Because it's going to be a long, for me, it was a very long journey, and there was no way I was going to go there. I just kept calling people close by. Please go there. They happen for there. I kept calling, and well, they did all they could, at those areas, where they didn't have materials early and blah blah blah. So the elections is a real thing. I have been on the field, and so I understand very well what it looks like. Even by the polling units, the polling unit has to be very bold, because the APC guys there were saying, no, this thing it crossed the line. Cancel. I said, cancel what? If you cancel mine, you cancel your own. So we arguing. So it was very funny. If you cancel my own, do you agree? Okay, then cancel your own if anything happens. It didn't cross the line. It crossed the line. Count it among, not count it among. Blah blah blah. So there's a lot of things that go on in the polling units on the field. So and also I think there has to be proper training for the polling unit agents. Tell not to just have polling unit agents. You might get and grow a cold feet. They were paying people. When the PDP guys came, sorry, I had to call the party. Not be my fault. That's what I say. They were paying people all around. I said, don't come near me. Don't even near me. It's your money. I don't get involved with that nonsense. You see with a joke for you. You want to rescue our country. How much you want to pay me? Please get out of my side. And they just say, leave that girl. No, not near her. She down with the craze. I say, yes, I'm mad. And not even near me. Right? So, but they are paying people, even all the other parties, they pay them and they just submit to the next person, next party who was paying them. So how the training and the boldness of the polling unit agent, and when there are crises, how that should be handled. Those are the things I just want to ask. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I believe it was Dr. Royo.
Yeah.
I think that was also a very nice question that you asked. When it comes to the movement restrictions and all on that day, the reasons why both the voters and the agent develop cold feet on the election days, because sometimes you'll be thinking that it's probably only you that will be coming out. You talk on that day at the polling unit is going to be like. When you chances of you developing cold feet increases. And that's part of the reason why we structure things down to the polling unit. So that way you will see that it's not just only you that is coming out on that day. There are many hundreds of others that will be joining you as well. So let's imagine in your polling unit, you see your children here. Everyone is highly gingered, highly motivated. You are chatting. Okay, we are going to meet at this primary school. We are going to meet at this place by 8 a.m. by 6 a.m. That stuff. That way you know that no that is going to be showing up. This is also important. That way it helps you know that this day it's going to be fun. Let's go outside. Maybe it's going to be
Dragon, is it just me or is he breaking up? Can you hear me?
He's breaking up.
I
He's
thought
breaking
it
up.
was me. He is
Oh,
breaking
okay.
up.
it
Yeah.
was breaking up. Yeah, he broke up just slightly.
Can you
Yeah.
hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, it's
right
better
now.
now.
Yeah.
It's better now.
Okay.
So go
Okay.
back
So
go back a minute or two and then go from there.
okay. So like
Yeah.
I was saying that one of the things that makes Nigerians to develop cold feet on the election day is when you know or when you feel that it's going to probably be only you or few people showing up on the election day to vote. You know, when you have that kind of mentality, it makes people develop cold feet. I remember back in the days on the election day, we usually play football because we felt just few people that are going to go here to go vote. Maybe then that way all of us will play football on free. But now, when we structure this in such a way that we have application, such a way that we have various breakout chat group for each of the polling units in Nigeria on the INEC database. That way, you are able to see other voters. You're voting with you in this center. Say you have 200 of you here that will be everybody up or fired up, discussing how they go or meet up that day for everybody to go. You guys can easily plan because this is one thing that happened in 2023 election in Anambra State. You guys, one of the things that happened there was that we had a situation in the southeast. We had a situation whereby on the in most of the polling units, the officials showed up very late. Some of them showed up around noon or maybe around p.m. or around 2 p.m. So, and then when you ask them, they will tell you that there are no movement on that day. And INEC did not make arrangements for anybody, for their logistics, for anybody to push or drive them to the polling unit. So that way in your polling unit, you guys, 125 of you or more of you there, let's say you guys are 200 of you there in the polling unit, you guys can strategize, okay, Mr. A, since you drive on the election day, your job is going to be you drive with Mr. B to the INEC office to go stay there. Maybe you guys should drive there by 7 a.m. Stay there and check if the INEC officials that will be coming to our area require a ride. So that way you can drive them down. When you drive them down, you're already 20 or 10 up. Because you're bringing them to your area. They are not going to come there and then read you out. At least you can have that rapport, that conversation, that friendship you build with them. So these are stuff that they can plan in their respective polling units. So that way they identify those that drive, they can assign them responsibilities, some of the voters there in that group, assign them responsibility to drive to the INEC office and pick up whoever is the agent that is there. And if the agents already have a ride taking them, you guys can join them as convoy, drive behind them, just like when people go to mortuary to go pick up a corpse. Drive behind them, follow them and go. To also make sure they did not branch somewhere else, maybe in somebody's house, to make sure that they come straight to this place. So that way they are organized. Now they can identify others in the area that probably have car. Okay, we have 50 people who are offline voters that we have registered. Okay, Mr. B and Mr. C, you guys can go. We'll share some of the address with you. You guys can go pick them up, bring them to this place. Start by 8 a.m. Do that. And then the rest of us who don't drive, all of us here, we are going to meet up by 8 a.m. Everybody meet at this primary school. All of us, we are going to march together to the polling unit. Then the PU watchers can organize themselves, 5 or 10 of them. They can strategize. Okay, on this day, everybody come with 2 by 2 to the office, to the polling unit. If thugs show up, we give them energy to energy. They can plan that themselves. If anybody come to that place with cash, boot or car filled with cash to bribe, we disrupt that particular person. Or maybe we seize the money, or maybe they can plan all these stuff in confidence in their own respect, in their own polling unit watcher group, which is where they can easily strategize among themselves. So that way, we all organize ourselves, even if there are restrictions, movement restrictions and so on. But because we already assigned the responsibilities, those individuals can go about their task on that day to go either pick up people or something like that. And when it comes to training, just like Dr. Roya also mentioned, we have a breakout chat group for both the polling unit agent, for both the polling unit watchers, for both the admins themselves. So each of these admins that is going to be coming from each of the polling units, representing each of the polling units, we have a breakout chat room for them. So if we want to, for example, do something like, let's say, phone call that day, we can create a script of what they will say on call when they call each of the voters. So that way everybody is in sync. We create the script, we share it on the group, and then ensure that all the admins that are going to be calling their respective 50 voters, that we have their numbers, offline voters, we have their numbers in their group, that everybody knows what to be asking and what to be saying when they call these individuals. So if there are anything we want to discuss with them, we can do all those stuff. And again, as we also go up, at least move down the election, we are always evolving and changing some of our system, some of these things that we already designed to adapt to the ground or grassroots challenges that we also see. One of them I will mention was something about this polling unit agent and the Form EC8. After designing our first phase of this polling unit agent organizations or structure we have on the platform, we reached out with some few people that have worked as polling unit agents. And then they mentioned about this EC8, from EC8, that INEC usually have meeting with them few days to the election. So that way they can review and see this document, check it, take a look at it, ensure they are correct, or probably either take a picture of those EC8 forms. The serial numbers, they mentioned also that they usually release the serial numbers on each of those forms. So that way, on the election day, they can easily cross-check these forms on the election day to ensure that it is the same form they saw the previous days, what they used to record the results. So now, after we had that discussion with some of the few agents that reached out to us back in December, we updated this flow in such a way to allow the agent, one, on the few days to the election day, to allow them to be able to individually upload a copy of that EC8 that they got from the INEC. They can upload a copy of that on the platform. Now, on the election day, when they upload the original results, our system is going to match the two documents to ensure they are the same, to be sure that it's still the original one. And then if it is not, it's going to flag it up. So that way they can follow it up in that particular place. And then if it is the same, it's going to accept that documentation as part of the original results from this election center. And then also we understand, or we notice that all the INEC location, all the polling unit addresses on the INEC database does not have original address in them. And Nigerian system, both the Google map don't work or function properly there in Nigeria, in some location. So what we've done is to build a system in such a way to allow either the admins or the agents to go to the specific polling unit in their area, few days to the election day. They go there, when they stand on that particular location, and then they open up the app is going to generate the coordinates of that polling unit, the longitude and latitude. It's going to generate that by itself and then save it on the platform. So that way it's use it as a tracking system for them on the election day to be able to know if the agent is in that particular place. So that way when the agent gets to the location on the election day, it is not the agent calling us to tell us that he is there. Our app automatically verifies him or her that he's already there at the polling unit. So for this benefit of maybe we don't know who is listening here in this space, I may not be able to disclose a whole lot of things that we have done on the platform, but if you are also willing, you can also reach out to me, and that way I can explain a whole lot of things that we've done in details. And I encourage both you, General Oluchi, to download the platform, give it a trial, maybe shoot me a message if you have any concern, and that way you'll be able to see how it works. And then also, it will also help us or help you as well harness all the various jobs that you've done with voter registrations, grassroots mobilizations, and all those stuff. So you'll be able to harness them into a centralized place and be able to track them. Because even if we have 30 or 50 million voters registered on this platform, everyone have a different invitation code assigned to them when you join the group. No two persons share the same invitation code. So the one you saw on that link that I shared there is the one from my own account on the platform. So when you send someone else your own invitation code, when you register on the app, you share someone else your own invitation code, they use it to join. You're able to track how many voters that have joined through your invitation code. How many voters that you have invited or that have come along through your direct invitation. And then if these voters should go on to invite many people or do whatever they do, you'll be able to track how many people they are also bringing on board. So if you bring somebody and then they go on to invite somebody down to the hundreds line, you'll be able to see all those people that have come through your indirect invite. So that way, someone like General Oluchi that have put in so much effort on the grassroots, you're able to see the activities that your guys are doing. You verify the work they are doing. They're not just telling you they are doing this or doing that, but you're able to see those they are bringing and also those that are coming through them as well on the platform. And you will see the numbers and you can also see the names as well if you want, since you're the admin or going to be the admin for them. Thank you.
I have a question, please.
Yeah, I think you should shoot. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Rockefeller.
Okay, please. Fantastic software. But I wanted to ask, have this software undergone a stress test? Because there's one thing with software, any software that's like at the incumbency stage like this, when it comes to real-time application of the software, it tends to fail. So have you taken time to undergo a stress test? Have you taken time to, okay, let's maybe put down some of the security measures. Let's just people try to let's 1,000 to 2,000 or 5,000 people do the whole thing like some kind of mock exercise, maybe pulling this. So let's see whether it will collapse, because we don't want to on that day maybe under heavy usage, maybe some technical issue comes up, will be like everything just collapses.
Like INET glitch.
Something like that, though. I don't want to use the word glitches too.
That's a very good. That's okay. You have more questions. Go on.
Yes, I have more questions. And secondly, what's your guard? Because you said you only collect secondary data, which is good because you don't want to keep people's personal data. What's your guard that people that comes to register are real voters? When I mean real voters, they have their PVCs and they have their PVCs because I wouldn't want, and their PO supporters, because I'm not in mind of them. At least they have their PVCs, so that because you said that you have a motivational mechanism that, okay, if you bring like 5 people, you get 3,000. I mean, someone that's have some motive might be, okay, let me just bring like this new life. Let me just be bringing people randomly, they claim and all that, and be collecting the money without, you just have crowd without the ingredients. And also, what you say that it will be used to like some sort of verification, maybe to see whether the INEC official, what the same thing they have to flag it. What's because from the way it is, this software may be partisan in the sense that it will be just to PO supporters. So even if it flags that thing, maybe let's just say an INEC official decide to do whatever he wants, you can't really present such in the court, because it will be like, okay, this just a party software or something like that. So a court will be like, okay, we can't accept this evidence from here because you're partisan or something like that. So is there something related to that we could use to mitigate, at least so that even if we are collecting evidence, we can use it to present at least legally to that aspect? Because opposition will be like, okay, where did you get it? You'll be questioning the source of data, so that to all these defense of technicalities. I think that's my questions for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, I think Rock of Ages for your question. With regards to stress tests, yes, we have undergone stress tests, and we did that in multiple areas as well. We did that. We did the mock test here in North America. We did one in Asia. We did one in Africa. So because we foresee these are areas that we feel we have lots of people, especially Nigerians, because those also in diaspora are going to be, using the platform as well. So we tested it across all these divides, and we also tested it also with a whole lot of number of people as well in Nigeria. When we rolled out the platform, we rolled it out back in June. We rolled it out initially with student phase. So we tested it with a whole lot of students on there. If you're on the platform, you will see there is a section where we have students and all those other institutions themselves. So we've done all those tests. It will not collapse. And all the features, they were all not loaded up at the same time. So we do them, upload them, design them also, improve them phase by phase. So it's not something that was all, just at once, everything all done at once and all. No, it wasn't done that way. So, and we are still testing it as we go. So we still have some few features that we are going to be releasing by first week of February that we already started testing now ahead of time, to ensure that at least those meet all the specific requirements and they don't collapse when people start using them. And when you join too, you'll see there are also lots of other people, other voters also that are already there. If you also have any challenges or any issues, you can also, bring it up to our attention. We are quick when it comes to our response. We also follow things up. We have a whole lot of developers and our security team as well that are also working on it 24/7. So when it comes to the glitches that INEC experiences, no, it's not going to happen. We also use the same AWS serverless system that INEC uses for their data and stuff. So, and a whole lot of other systems that we also use that I will not be able to mention here for the sake of security and who knows who's listening. And then also when it comes to voters and real voters on the ground, if you listen to when I was talking at the first, I think you listened because you mentioned something about reward system. So we verify each of the voters that are joining. The good thing here is that it's not just everybody just go register and join. It's not just like that. Like most of the party websites are. You just go up there, you register, you join, and boom, that is it. That's not how it's done here. Here, we verify it down to the individuals inviting the referrals, the people inviting the voters. And then also to the person that also invited the referrals and all those stuff. So we have a whole lot of chain of verifications that we do to verify the voters that are joining. And also we verify them also through the social media to see the people that are also joining to know who they are. And while on the platform also, we have a whole lot of some other few systems that we use to also verify or maybe track the activities of the voters on the platform to dictate if somebody is something like a mole on the platform, So we have those personality system that we also designed there to be able to track those. Let's say somebody taking screenshots of the conversations going on, and our AI flags such individuals and also captures the exact specific pages that you're taking screenshot of, and then share them with some of the select admins. And then the admins can be able to review and see why you're taking those information and the sensitivity of those particular content that you're screenshotting. So we have so many of those multi-layers that we have put up in place. And of course, there are no systems that...
Kingsley, sorry, I have to cut in. Maybe why not do this for whoever is interested? You can have a closed door. I think you're rolling out too much on a public forum. So whoever is interested,
especially that screenshot one was too much. That was too much, bro. That was just too much, bro.
I said now we're going to the bread and butter of the whole.
I want to ask no technical question. Probably I'll just ask him his DM.
Yeah, please do ask me on my DM, please, so that way we'll be able to follow up and
Because I want
discuss
to
all those
ask,
stuff.
okay, what's the
And then I
minimum
will be able.
requirement for the software to run? Is it Android? Because there are some people that have lower Android versions. What's the minimum requirement? Because let's just say, is it Android 4? Is it like, what's the minimum requirement and what RAM requirement so that people can have Android, it won't work, right?
For now, it's Android 5, but those the other information as well. You can ask me on my DM, so we don't take up so many people's time and every them stuff. So I will.
Great idea. Great idea.
Please ask me on my DM so I can explain. And then also, when it comes to authenticating the document, be rest assured the documents are well authenticated and they'll be that we collect. And we have reviewed the guidelines along the legalities to ensure that they'll be admissible in the court. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Jagun, so I don't know, do you want to take more smart ballot questions or should we just switch gears at this point?
Please, I have a question. Let's switch. Yeah, I think we added even enough bonus to the conversation.
I know. All right, so
and
let me
then we are beginning
segue.
to dig into something we're not supposed to be putting out.
I know. Want to see what is sound inside the radio.
Me, I have a question that is not technical, Sha.
Okay, hold on, Chika, hold on. So, Jagun, I was just gonna say on a different note. So we're going to the election year, and we know there's always going to be a surge in terms of election year violence. That's just guaranteed. It's Nigeria. Not that we're strangers to violence as we speak. There is violence going all around the country, but it's just something about our elections and violence. Now, it's also a tax year, the new tax law. So I think it'd be smart for this, since we're talking 2x2, bringing 2x2 to the polling unit, for people to look into taking out personal injury insurance policies. Believe me, it's a great idea, especially when it's tax deductible. Because whether you like it or not, Taiwo Yodele is coming for you. He is coming for you. Between him and Zach Adedeji, they are both coming. So this is just one way to say, okay, hopefully you don't die, but personal injury.
It's literally a win-win situation, right?
It's a
win-win
win-win.
situation if you ask me, bro.
You can collect, and it is tax deductible. And no other person I will recommend on this app, on this space right now, than Egbe's. She's our in-house. She hasn't paid me for this commercial. I'm not working with her. I have no skin in the game, but I think it's a great idea. Reach out to her in the DM, ask her all the questions. She has all the policies. She works for a company in Nigeria. They're local, and just talk to her about it. She's the insurance expert. I just think it's a great idea. All right.
Thank you, Tudo.
Honestly speaking, so that if I'm going out there, with my with my spoon and fork to go and eat of the good of my fatherland.
DSS, scratch that.
Yeah, DSS, please scratch that. That was a mistake. I meant table knife, please. But then even I'm not using table knife because we're not eating yam at the polling unit. I meant spoon and fork. So if I'm going out, with spoon and fork for the banquet, that my forefathers have presented for me, I'll be sure that my mind good day, right? I won't worry too much about how I'll take care of myself in case I enjoy myself with my cutlery while I'm eating, table manners and all that stuff. So yeah, waiting.
Enjoy yourself while you're eating.
Belele, to add to that, as you're going to the polling unit with your fork and knife, you also need a personal accident insurance, which is very cheap. Okay, that you can take to your where you're eating your yam in case they burst your head. It covers your treatment. Okay, so if you're planning to go to any event with fork and knife, do well to get a personal accident insurance cover, which is around 2,000 plus 3,000. That's the highest.
So very, very cheap premium, basically. Very affordable. Makes sense.
So again, let me remind the people in the DSS that are transcribing and recording. I didn't say I'll go with fork and knife. That was Ebuzumi's comment. I said I'll go with spoon and fork because again, I'm not planning to eat yam at the polling unit ground. But yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. So Jagun, how do we transition to our family meeting? Yeah, we'll
Chuka
have
said
you.
he has
I
a
think we should
question.
just cycle
Oh,
through the
Chuka.
speakers though, because a lot of people have
Yeah,
been trying to speak. Yeah.
yeah. Chuka had a question. Chuka, go ahead.
Now where I just want to talk. Church people don't start. Okay.
Wait,
Um.
which church? Which church? Did they church?
No. In Nigeria now, I live in a very quiet neighborhood, but they managed to smuggle in this Redeemed Church, and anyway, let me not go into that. That's not the conversation. So I hope it's not too loud in my background. I really think this is a brilliant product. I applaud the initiative, the fact that Nigerians are thinking like this. Early enough, I can imagine how much thinking and effort and man hours that have gone into this work. It's great. I listened as much as I could when Oluchi was asking some important questions. I was keen to hear what you had to say, but I was pulled out. I was pulled away by some call, and by the time I came back, she was almost done with you. But before I get into that, because I want to add more questions to what she asked, but I remember something. I'm into communications and media and strategy, so I want to understand how this applies to the northern Nigeria, because you were talking about how you have a specific minimum number you're targeting for each polling units among the 175,000 or 78,000. So a lot of people in the North from my research in 2022 use social media or they use smartphones, but they may not necessarily you may not be able to call them literate people, right? But they know how to use the devices. And that's something I found really amazing. In fact, I learned so many things about how they use TikTok when I made some inquiries in 2022. Before we started this whole thing, when I was discussing with people in the Labour Party, and anytime somebody's talking about something like this, I always think about them. So I wonder how you want to, or how you plan to, or how you designed your communication, targeting the people in the northern Nigeria, because they don't look at things the way we look at things when it comes to these pages. But at the same time, they might be able to use the devices if the information is communicated to them in the suitable way or the way that suits them. So I wonder if you have any considerations towards that, because of course
Yeah, yeah, Chuka, that's a very good question. And yes, we noticed that as well with the whole mobilization exercise. And so far, the way things are going, our projection is that the North are going to blow up the application very soon. So what we are also doing is we are currently working on adding some language functionalities there. So that way, whatever language that you understand in Nigeria, we currently do have only English now. So we are working on integrating a system that will interpret or translate the application and the conversations happening in each of the respective breakout chat rooms in your languages, like in Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, and English. So that way you can type in Hausa and then I can get it in English, or somebody else can also get it in Igbo, that kind of stuff. So that's what we are currently working. And from our projection, before May, June, that functionality is going to be ready. And we put it up that way because of some other few things that we are working on at the same time concurrently. So yes, we do have that. We factored in that challenge, and we also have it that will be addressed very soon.
does it include maybe text to audio or something like that for those who can't read? You
Right
mentioned
now,
AI.
it doesn't have
That's why I'm asking.
Yes, right now it doesn't, but it will also be included down the road. By the time the translations comes up, it will add the text to audio system.
Okay, here comes the tough one. Okay, this is big. This is big data
Chuka,
that we're talking
we
about.
were going to move on from the minutia about the app, though. But I think you're kind of taking us all the way
Oh,
back into the.
sorry, Kokoli. Bro, you're good, man. You're all these things you're rolling out, man. You shouldn't. You should be working in somewhere, maybe Google or Facebook or Meta, because this is actually data science. You're
How do
looking.
you know? How do you know it doesn't have Elon Musk on speed dial?
Oh,
How do you
man,
know?
this data science you're looking at, man. I toilet for you, Baba. You're good.
I mean, making I leave this guy. I mean, so Chuka, I don't know. You can reach out
I,
to him
I, me, do you
on,
want me to do that?
yeah,
Because
on the back channel. I think it'll be better at this point. Sure, you get. I know you also in the media space, but right now I think it would be better to. I'm not really comfortable having this conversation on a public platform. I gotta be honest with you. I'm not, but it
okay,
is what it is. I guess we need to let a lot of people know about it. So, yeah. What do you say? What do
okay,
you say?
we can talk. I mean, I don't have to force myself into this, but what I wanted to ask is a little sensitive. So if you feel that I shouldn't, I can discuss it with you personally. Then we look at what's going on with that. It has to do with the continuation of what Oluchi asked regarding,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, authority, obi. You know, there's some important things because I believe that there are people here who don't speak on spaces,
Hmm.
but they have questions and they won't ask. And there are
You
Honorable,
mean
people as
so? This is
honorable.
away from the
If for
app,
nice,
right?
may you just off your mic at this point. Honorable Choka, please off your
No,
mic.
no, no, no. Hold on.
Honorable
I'm even trying to
Tochi, open your
understand
DM.
where Chika is. I'm trying to understand the
No,
drift. Are you? So this is away
no.
from the app movement about PO or the coalition. Where are you referring to, Chika?
no, which concern this one with coalition. This is our own thing. I said something the last time I spoke here that you guys we're on our own. No, we're on our own. Let me just leave it there. If you are hoping on these people that they are serious, they're not serious. We might clinch it, but we're on our own. If we clinch it,
Chika,
the truth
Chika.
should be revealed.
Our principal has said that we are all in. We should have faith.
I'm just giving you okay, faith. You talking about faith, interest. Let me just
Chuka, have you seen our coalition people cursing me since yesterday? They're literally laying curses on me,
Tudor. This is a
but I'm
strategy.
blessing them.
Tudor,
But I'm
this
blessing
I
them
saw you
though.
doing that. I saw you releasing anointing. The truth is that that's a distraction strategy, and it's going to multiply. So get ready, wear your thick skins and whatever jackets you're going to wear because they're going to start calling people's names and putting it out there. So we have to figure out how to be on the offensive continuously for the next 12 months. And we can do that. We can do that. Yeah, but anyway, let me just mute for now and maybe we can talk later. I could even engage him directly and ask some questions regarding the things I was talking about. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
that would give us
Absolutely.
because why I asked, I want to why I'm saying those things is because we need to be able to push this well. You know, push it like well, not just on Twitter Spaces. Push it well.
I tell you what, when he gave me a personal tour, if I, for the lack of a better word, of the app, and my goodness, I was wowed. And the first question out of my mouth was, does leadership know about this?
Yeah.
That was the first thing.
Yep.
He's right here. That was the first thing that came out of my mouth because I'm like, damn, this is a game changer. you know.
And what was the answer?
Um,
Okay, there's a
I'm not at
conversation
liberty.
going
I'm
on.
Can
not.
we
I'm
please
not at
move
liberty to
on?
share. I'm not at
Hello,
liberty to
hello.
share.
Let's move
Let's move
on
on. Let's
now.
move on. But the
Let's
guy
move
is
on
good.
now. We don't
That
need all this.
excuse
Please.
excuse me. That information is above our pay grade. Thank
Exactly.
you very
We are
much.
baby politicians. We don't know anything. We are still crawling. Thank you.
Wow, that doesn't sound like obedience. So anyway, go on with your
Oga
conversation.
Chuka, now what for you? Then we collect microphone from
Honorable,
Mr.
honorable,
Hand
mute
now.
your mic.
Eh?
Honorable,
Honorable,
marry
mute your
over.
mic.
What is going on here?
Honorable, mute your mic.
Honorable, no be our head, you go do investigative journalism.
Ask the technology, the coordinating technology officer to disconnect that honorable's mic. I've been
Clark,
saying,
Clark, please scratch that from the record.
you can imagine that. It's bringing out. We sent prayers to your wallet. You want to come and announce it on
You
the
still want to come
floor.
and be all right? All right, guys, let's get back on track here. We have a civil war going on in our this is our fragile family. Jagu, I don't know how do you get us back on track here.
We are still at the Mexican standoff. And we are waiting for Malam Bolaji Abdullahi to retract that insulting communique and replace it with a more concise one.
Yes, and primarily when I was listening, was it Klinsman? What was his name? That guy is a born ninja, man. Where is he at? Man, that guy came with fire. He was talking about EFCC needs to look into this because this whole time, Bolaji them knew that people were registering and
He's a
paying.
disciple of Kolade.
Okay. Well discipled. So they knew this whole time. We were saying yesterday that people were paying money. They kept mute. Where is that money? Where did it go? Right? What happens to all of those registrations? Now, when you come out to say, oh, general public, blah, 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 be careful, there are fake links. ADC does not have an official link. What? Like, what is that supposed to mean? Without any point, any statement on, oh, we acknowledge that a lot of people already are paid and registered, and then we are looking to unpack all of that. And if need be, we might need to refund monies, or we'll have a way of working the registration into, like, give us something to show that, okay, you want to be accountable. You didn't even acknowledge any of that. You just came out, made a blanket statement, and now this is the team that is supposed to take over from APC. My goodness. Rumor has it that we're not ready. I don't know, Jagun. Where do we go from here? I don't know, man. All right.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Who's
let's just
yeah,
move the mic around in general, right? A lot of people were coming up earlier. I don't know whether they came up because of Smart Ballot and Dochu, but I'm thinking generally. Let's see. Rock of Ages spoken, or did he come up for questions? I think people can just go back into submissions because
yeah.
today the get place where I want to carry this topic go. I
Okay.
want
I
us to go
trust
and
you.
bite into the forbidden fruits, right?
Okay.
You know,
You
honestly
want to
speaking, yeah. Yeah,
you want
yeah,
to
but
waiting
yeah,
with
because this is the agenda hour, right? 3 a.m. is
you.
witching hour, 7
We are
p.m. is agenda
capable.
Amen.
We are
hour.
capable. We are
Well,
capable.
Amen.
honestly speaking, so,
All
yes.
right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the agenda hour. So we're keeping the topic, right? Oh, are we saying ADC? Are we making it all ADC forum?
No,
Come
hold on,
in if
hold on,
you love ADC.
hold on. I'm getting inspired. Let me go and pull the topic from you. See, one of my give me like 2 seconds. I recall.
If you love our ADC, come in, right? Enemies of progress, stay out. I never even know what's in the solve. We're just getting started. We're just getting started. Nobody has monopoly of propaganda. We're all capable of it. All right. Pharmacies, you be INEC official. What do you think so far of all these things? Pharmacies, are you there? Okay, pharmacy is not ready. Let's see. I'm Valera, help me. Jagun, I'm seeing Hope. I'm seeing Tochuku. All right, Dr. Royal.
Yeah, let the Toroya go. Then
Okay,
we can take Hope and Tochuku will go first before Hope and Francis.
okay.
Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Although I was trying to understand what we're all having fun about. I miss the fun, I miss the joke, but it's fine. As no explain, Moku here, so no worry. I'll be fine. I will understand as discussion goes on. Okay, so what I want to talk about right now is what's the plan first of all for polling unit agents to be trained? When are we going to start all that? Do we wait for one official particular moment where that would be done, or we can just kick off on our own? I'm just wondering really because that's just so key. Because this election now, it's a must win for us. We must chase out these kleptocrats out of this vicinity, out of Nigeria. Because I mean, Nigeria is currently not a country. As in, it's such an embarrassment to be able to even admit you're from Nigeria at this point in time. It's just such a shame of just every day with every single event that goes on in Nigeria, every single day, you get more ashamed of our country. It's time to take Nigeria back. Today, I interviewed a young lady who came to look for a job as a marketer. My friend, my manager and the staff called me, oh man, there's somebody for you. I said, go ahead. Oh, want to be part of the interview, and I was there. Okay, bring your credentials. And all I was seeing was falsify that, falsify that. What is your age? 2000 and this one. What? Practically all documents falsified. Sorry, it was a mistake. And as in a young girl of 21, all our documents were fake. This was birth certificate falsified. CV had different ages, different times of graduation. I was like, you give an interview. What happened to you? Oh no, my teacher told me that if I did not do the jam wanting that year, I will not be to get to university. And I now did that to change my age. I'm like, what kind of country is this? Like every single sphere of the nation is just corrupt, and I don't know what's the word. My heart really sank for the young girl. Graduate, just came out of school looking for a job. And every document she has is scattered, falsified. I interviewed a nurse who came looking for a job. And from primary school to she had RON, registered nurse, registered midwife, BSc, everything NYC falsified. And they all looked original. I'm like, what happened? Was this grave decadence? And it happens because people don't punish crime in Nigeria. And if the head of state, the president can be falsifying his own documents, what the heck of the populace? So Nigeria is really in a very dire situation. And what he said today, one man told me today, he said, in the villages, young girls are getting pregnant, 13, 15, 14, giving birth to children because they don't go to school, nothing to do. So they just getting pregnant all over the place. And children are giving birth to children. So imagine generation are going to come up because they will have no parenting. Because a child giving birth to a child cannot parent a child. So it's going to just be, so Nigeria needs a really hard reset. And 2027 is the year where we must make up our minds. We must get Nigeria back on the brink where it is right now. This overstand us. I see all over the timeline that even these APC people and the politicians in Nigeria, they hate Nigerians more than the colonial masters. That's the truth. When they talk about our sovereignty, geopolitics, blah blah blah, this current crop of people who are currently politicians in Nigeria don't give a hoot about the poor masses on the street. Don't give a hoot about anybody. And the only reason why people can be kidnapped and killed and people can be in hunger and poverty and with unemployment is because it doesn't affect their children. That guy's video was so instructive, the Edo State guy, that it's because it doesn't affect their children, doesn't affect their families. They settle their own. Yeah, better so how many billions to pay for school fees for children, even up to the unborn child in the womb. He has paid for their school for the whole years of their education with state funds. It's high time we take back this country because Nigeria has all the potential of being what it should be. And I thank God for a man like Peter Obi and of course Alex Oti and some of the good politicians that are coming up that are in this political sphere who have good conscience that can change Nigeria. And we as the people of Nigeria have to wake up. That's why 2027. No, it's not the time to joke. Not the time to play pranks. Not the time to develop cold feet or believe. And I really love this app. But unfortunately, I saw only 900 or something voters. We never even reach one 0.0000% of what we want. So, I mean, if we're going to get on that app or whatever I want to do, let's start beginning to train the polling unit agent. Let's begin to train ourselves. Let's start getting ready for 2027. Talk to your neighbors, talk to everyone around you and get registered in ADC so that you can be part of the primaries. I don't know what they will do, whether they will do delegate system, direct or indirect primaries or whatever they're going to do. What they're going to do, we have to ensure the right man gets the ticket so that we can go ahead and vote the right man the position. Nigeria needs to get better. Nigeria needs to get out of the brink because decadence is I can't even, I get one small headache in one corner of my head when I think about Nigeria right now. And I think every one of us, whether you are in diaspora or you're in Nigeria, you can give up on Nigeria, of course, and go. Like I met a 76-year-old man. He said, madam, I'm done. I'm already at the airport waiting to travel. That means he's waiting for death. Any day God calls him, he goes. Nigeria is gone. And he said, you are 76, so it's convenient for you to say that. What if the child is just 10? The one that is 13, the one that is 25, the one that is 30, 45, who their future is all out there before them in Nigeria. You're 76. It's common to say, oh, you're done. You're tired. You've given up. Nigeria cannot get better. Fine, we hear you because you're almost dead. In 5, 10 years, you're gone. What about the children who are 8, who are 10, 15? 18, 25, who don't have education, they don't get food to eat, not even growing with, they're malnourished. What about the youth, the ones who are married, they cannot feed their families? What is the hope for them? We cannot give up on our nation. We can't give up. There's no place for giving up. And let's all make up wherever we are. And thank God, I did talk what I did do. I don't just make mouth on the timeline. I don't just make noise. I'm on the streets. I'm on the field. I did that in 2023. And God, if I'm in Nigeria in 2027, don't ask me that question. Why I said if I'm in Nigeria, just leave me where I did. Right? If all things being equal, I'm going to put in my best, everything I got to ensure that the principal comes out as the presidential candidate, and also to vote for him to win. We must chase out APC and chase out Tinubu and bandwagon of kleptocrats. So I use my mind, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Royal. Thank you. Well said. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, the topic has morphed. Does APC think Arewa, we did some cleanup job there, only vote for tribe and religion and tribe? So, are you there? Where is that rantopology guy? Jagun, is Velele stuck?
You don't define
No,
wahala.
it's not stuck.
You don't
Yes, it's
define
stuck.
wahala.
This
Wahala
is
is our
when
middle
we
name.
need anthropologists.
Wahala is our middle name right now on this space.
Abi, joke. We thrive in conflict.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So if there's any Arewa on this space, I see my good friend Summer. Please come up. Come and talk to us. All our ADC family members.
Where is Zena?
Come up. Yeah, my Ninja Zena. Where's Ninja Zena? She's probably busy somewhere forming narratives. Those guys are always busy. Malam Eze. This is when you need Malam Eze. Where is he? He needs to come up. Somebody go look for Malam Eze. Where is he at? Yeah, so I want to talk about this. Anyways, who is next? So we said Tochuku, right? I don't see him anymore in the space. So Jagun, I don't see Tochuku. So should we go to
Oh no, it's not. It's no more on the space. I think so. It will be
Egbes?
no Hope. Hope.
Hope. Okay.
Yeah,
Hope, are you there?
Eggbase. We've been here with Eggbase. We're taking these new speakers that haven't spoken at
Yeah.
all.
Hope, are you there? Okay, Hope is not there. Pharmacies, are you still there? Okay, Pharmacies is not there. All right, Egbes, it's your show. Take it away. Egbes. All right. I don't know what's
Present
going on, man.
uncle.
I
Go
just
ahead.
knew that you were climbing the tree.
Insurance personified is there. What I wanted to say, or why I actually raised my hand, was when the doctor was actually Dr. Royal was actually asking the questions about plans on getting agents, polling unit agents trained. I say there is something cooking when it concerning that, using the smart ballot application. So there are some form of trainings that are going to be going on using that application. I know other efforts are going to be made, outside that, but I just wanted to point that out, that there's something cooking with regards to training polling unit agents using smart ballot application. So that was what I wanted to say. Then another already switched up now. Which topic do we face now? Does APC think Arewa only vote for religion and tribe? Mr. Atudo, why they laugh now?
As you
They
can't take
actually,
time, and read the topic.
I don't say una they cook different topics, so I just wanted to be sure, make I know decide what I go face. You get. So now to this topic, if APC thinks, yeah, APC does think that way. For them, nothing past politics of religion and tribe. their master strategies when it comes to playing politics of division, politics of tribe, politics of religion. So they actually see the north as a good harvest ground when it comes to playing that politics of religion, owing to the fact that you have a lot of out of school children, you have a lot of people who depend on politicians to actually tell them who to vote for, why to vote for that person, why not to vote for a certain candidate. I mean, we saw that play out in the last election, that okay, at the end of the day, after they don't get their so-called Muslim ticket, we saw imams coming out to say they were actually paid millions of naira to actually preach against Obi in their mosques. They were, engineered to tell their people that, it was a crime to actually vote for an Igbo person. They actually put in that idea into the heads of many people that it was better to have a worse Islamic president or leader in position than to have, the best candidate who will have their interests at heart come from the other religion. I mean, it's crazy that in 2023, they could actually push that narrative and people bought into that. It shows that, as in, we have a lot of problems on our hands to actually deal with. So these things are real issues. And it is not just about what APC thinks, it is about what is on ground or what we have seen to actually play out over time. Okay, so for whether APC think they know, and the North, based on their actions, are actually supporting these assertions. Now, this is to us now, okay, having known that yes, these things are actually playing out, the onus is on us. We just have a year to actually, make a massive move and inroad into that North to tell them, you know what, these guys are actually deceiving you. Religion has never helped you and will never help you. We have gotten to that point in time where we begin to draw meat into their consciousness, because they've been brainwashed using religion that it is better you have your Sharia, your blasphemy laws, your Islamic laws, and those are the things that actually excite them. So when you come and tell them that, oh, we are giving you Sharia, vote for this person, we ensure that Sharia is entrenched, we ensure that you have your blasphemy laws in place, so you can kill whoever you feel goes against your savior or be your prophet. They are excited. They are happy that yes, we have someone speaking for us, and that is a serious issue. And that is why we have issues with insecurity, currently ravaging the North. And then when people try to take a stand and say, let us go after these guys, you see these Northerners come out to say, these are our brothers, these are our children, these are our family members, these are our husbands, these are our wife. Because what? They've been brainwashed to actually think that, they are doing the work of Allah. So any person that comes to, through that route of saying, you know what, we are going to serve this Allah together, they are going all out for that person. They are ready to, fight and die on that particular hill so that they can preserve what they feel, is right. So to them, see that their idea of Islam entering every house, somebody is going to come and make that as a campaign promise that don't worry, I will help you actualize this dream of pushing Islam till it crosses the Atlantic. And they are excited. They are like, oh, this person is for us. But they fail to see the real issues, that these guys are using this thing to deceive them. Those who are telling you that knowledge or Western education is haram, their kids are abroad. Okay, their kids are abroad, their kids are studying, enjoying, the largesse of life, while you are, told to send your own kids to Islamic schools, abandon them on the street to become almajiris, and they are excited. This same set of people, they are told that, oh, Sharia punishes the corrupt, and they are excited. So when they catch somebody who steals probably a plate of food or yam or whatever, they are happy. They say, bring down Sharia on this person. And you see people, getting their hands chopped off. But this same set of people will see their politicians who loot away their futures and that of their generation yet on board. What do? They end up in mosque praying for the release of, that criminal, praying that Allah intervenes and rescues the person and that he be installed as their governor. That is how sick and crazy this idea of religion has eaten, deep into the fabric of the North, and it tells us that, we have a lot on our hands. It is high time to, move into massive education, re-education, reorientation, whatever you call it, to be able to open the eyes of these people to see that, you know what, there are just two tribes in Nigeria, the rich and the poor. There are two religions in Nigeria, one for the rich and one for the poor. It has nothing to do with you who is the poor man, because when it comes to, this issue of Sharia being applied, you will see the clear difference. Okay, on one side you are being oppressed, using that Sharia. On the other hand, you see those who push for this Sharia, when they get indicted with issues of corruption, they plead to be taken to our regular court rather than face that Sharia. It tells you everything you need to know, and that is what we need to do, to drum that into their consciousness, that religion has never served you and will never serve you. At this point in time, the issue of tribe, a lot of people find comfort in that, including the southern indigenes. They find comfort in bragging rights. A lot of Nigerians just want that ability to brag that na my person, na be president. Even if it means you're dying of hunger, you just want to rub it on the face of certain people. When I see people make such stupid statements on Twitter that as long as you people are not in power, I'm happy, it shows you how degrading, the mind of these people have been, whitewashed, brainwashed, or whatever you call it, till they get to that point that we rather die like flies than have an Igbo man rule over us. This is crazy, but these are the ideas that have been engineered into the minds of a lot of people here in the South and also there in the North. That you find people who just want to have that bragging right, that, do you know what, the president is from my place. Who gives a fuck where the president comes from when your life is no better? That is, we have a serious fight on our hands. Actually take this, knowledge to these people and tell them, what, religion has not been and will not serve you. Religion only serves you. The type you practice is to punish you. Okay, that's what it does. And then for the issue of tribe, it only favors the rich. That's why you see them when they gather around and say, oh, it is time for power to move north, it is time for power to move south. When they bring in all this north-south dichotomy and whatever, they do this because they are positioned to enjoy whenever power goes either north or south. So whatever they are pushing for themselves. They are pushing so that they get closer to the corridors of power. Meanwhile, you keep languishing, in the current state you are, without help or without hope, without any way of getting rescued from the current situation you find yourself. So we have a lot of work on our hands to actually do a lot of talking, a lot of education. Probably we start with the younger ones who are literate to some extent. Then they will be able to communicate to their parents, reach out to them and tell them, whatever you have believed, whatever you have been told in time past, that it is better to vote for your own religious person than to vote for somebody who is said to give you good governance. It is fallacy, it is false. Those are things that are actually put in place to keep you down, to get you to the point where you become slave. You don't have a right of slave. You just stay there and they use you as willing tools to actually rig and win election and enjoy the largesse of life while you suffer. It is quite appalling that at this point in time we find schools where children are sitting on the floor. We find and that's why you see the northern elite, the northern politicians play this religion of politics to a high extent. You see people who don't have schools in their communities, whose community lack basic infrastructure, spending billions of naira to conduct marriages. For crying out loud, government dey sponsor marriage. You go hear say they spend 500 million to marry 10,000 people. Those are the priorities, and people are happy and excited that the government is doing something worthwhile. Oh, you see a governor spending 10 billion to send people to Hajj, and the people are excited. They are happy that yes, he's doing our mind. Meanwhile, you don't have schools, you don't have hospitals, you don't have security, you have no basic amenities, but you have been engineered to think that wow, they've done the best thing they could. We've seen all manner of things people give out to their constituency as constituency project, and the people accept it. I mean, I've seen a disgraceful picture of somebody giving out mats, this praying mats to his constituency members
as his constituency project, and they gladly accepted it. To them, they feel like, oh, this person is a religious person and he wants our religion to move forward. That is crazy. If they give you mat, may you carry go pray for am so that you go continue to go there and steal away your resources while you go to the mosque and keep praying for him to succeed whenever. We've seen some of them come to share kettles and whatever for praying as their constituency project. And the people are excited, they're happy to stand with them with these ridiculous items, to stand and take pictures that, oh, this is what this man has done for their constituency, and they are happy. This is actually a cage. These people have been gagged, they've been caged. It is time to break that shackles, open their eyes and let them actually see the truth, that nothing supersedes good governance. At the end of the day, irrespective of whoever is there, what you should demand for is the barest minimum, which is good governance. And it doesn't look at tribe, it doesn't look at religion. And that is why we are all standing, and queuing behind one man, Peter Obi, irrespective of tribe, irrespective of religion. We're not pushing Obi because he's from the southeast and then it's the turn of the southeast to actually produce the president. No, we're pushing him because he has shown courage. He has shown that he has whatever it takes to actually move this country forward. He has what it takes to rescue this country from these shackles, that has held us back, and take this country, to where it ought to be. He has shown courage to actually unite. He's a unifier. We've seen him travel around from one region to another, visiting, doing what people from those regions have refused to do. Obi is a build bridger, unlike the one we currently have now. At the end of the day, I see something like, if I would say, dangerously positive with APC's leadership, particularly that of Bola Tinubu, because it has exposed a lot of things that we hitherto thought, were impossible. We began to see, some of these, Yorubas, apologies to the Yorubas for who they truly are. Like, I didn't know that we had such mean and vile people until Bola Tinubu came on board, and we saw people defending incompetency and ineptitude simply because of tribe. And apologies, Mr. Jago, this is supposed to be, the most educated tribe that we have in Nigeria. Oh, we grew up with that narrative that the West was highly educated. There are some states that are known for professors and the rest of them. Yet we find professors bankrolling someone who does not have the certificate, all in the name of tribe. So Obi is one person that, cuts, through these ethnic lines and whatever you call it. He's not going there to favor a tribe. He's not going there to push a religion. He's not going there to push an agenda. He's not going there to settle political friends. He's not going there to do, whatever our old politicians are known for doing. He's going there to actually set, the pace for growth and development. He's actually going there to, bring Nigeria, snatch Nigeria from the path of destruction and set it, on the right path to greatness, which is actually possible. So when you see us rally around this man, it is because he has given us hope. That hope that it is possible to actually bet a new Nigeria. And that is the hope that every well-meaning Nigeria looks forward and looks up to. That alas, do you know what it's like? Alas, we have somebody that has inspired us. We have somebody who have shown courage, who has shown character, who have shown prudence, who have shown capacity, who understands the problem of Nigeria and is ready to solve the problem, who doesn't want to just go there and pack our money and live outside the shores of this country and govern us from outside the shores of this country. We have seen a man who goes about learning from different countries, from different people, on how to tackle the different problems we have as a people. And that is why we are following him unconditionally. When you see us fight for him, we know they fight, make they notice us. We know they fight, make they give us appointment. Unlike others in other camp do. We're not fighting to position ourselves. We just want a better country, one that works for everyone. I want a country where I can be able to travel from here to Kwara State without getting scared of being kidnapped along the way. I want a situation where I can easily walk to a primary healthcare center and get attended to without my life being in danger. I know what it feels like, to live in communities where you don't have primary healthcare. And that's one thing we must say. When I served in Kwara State. I almost died at some point in time when I was seriously sick and they had to rush me to a primary healthcare center. Funny enough, that healthcare center, no, they stay, till daybreak. They don't admit patients. When they treat you, you go back home and you come back the next day to continue. That's an aberration. When the sickness got, serious and fatal, they had to rush me to a maternity center in that village in the middle of the night. And the injection, the kind of medication that man mixed together almost claimed my life that night. And that is what a lot of people live through. The initial community they posted me to did not have a primary health care. This is 2025, and we are still battling with minor issues. We're still talking about roads. We're still talking about water. We're still talking about hospitals. We are still talking about the basics. We are still talking about light in 2025, where the world is busy advancing in, AI technologies. We've seen other African countries, Rwanda and the rest of them, launch flying taxis. What do we do in this country? We come up with propaganda. Oh, CNG buses. We launch CNG buses. Convert your this thing to CNG buses. And that is where we are at this point in time. What happened to our CNG buses? All gone. They promised us restructuring. When they came on board, they told us they've never had that word restructuring. They talked about modular refinery. At this point in time, we don't even see more, not to talk of modular refinery. Our oil resources are filtered away by the day, leaving the South region, in disarray, in distress, oil pollution everywhere. And we're still moving forward. We're still moving on like it's normal. Edo State is currently burning. People are getting kidnapped on daily basis. And people are still pushing agenda, pushing religion, pushing tribe, pushing whatever. If at this point in time in Nigeria, you're not tired, I wonder when it will get to you. You are not safe in this country. Whether you're rich or poor, Nigeria can happen to you. When I say it loud, that bad governance is a leveler. And it has come to that point where at this point in time, we are fighting for our life. We are fighting for life. We are fighting to stay alive. Then, try to set the country on the right path, because that is where Nigeria is currently. Nigeria is dying. Nigeria is dying. Nigeria is dying. When we were growing up, we saw in Nigeria that our parents were complaining. Nigeria no good, Nigeria no good. But back then, at that time, you say, all the song where they sing that time, Nigeria jaga jaga, everything scatters. Nigeria na heaven that time. All the time we African China sing food no dey, brother no, water no dey. Na lie. That time food boku, rice na 6K a bag. All that time where they sing food no dey, water no dey, road no dey, everything dey. The police was not as bad as what we currently have now. So Nigeria was, we were living a good life, quote and unquote, to some extent. And then this administration came. They told us we are all living fake lives. And now we go begin to see, the real life. We were all, pretending and forming fake life, living a life we could not afford. And here we are at this point in time. Nigerians are not concerned about any other thing. Nigerians are literally begging to stay alive. That's the barest minimum. Nigerians are not even asking for welfare at this point in time, which is supposed to be enshrined, or which is enshrined in our constitution, that the welfare and security of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. But at the end of the day, we are not even talking about welfare. What most Nigerians are crying out is, can you allow us live? What Ekpoma youths are crying is, let us live. We are tired of getting killed and kidnapped on a daily basis in our land. What people in Middle Belt are saying, let us live. Let us just live. It has gotten to that point where Nigerians are not even interested in any other thing. Throughout last year, the discourse that, dominated the space was insecurity. That made people turn away from all the atrocity that this APC, have been committing over time. People were just asking for the barest minimum. Can you allow us live? So it got to that point in time.
Yeah. So try to wrap up your submission.
Yeah, I'm rounding up now.
Okay.
So it got to that point in time where we just wanted the barest minimum. And that is why we are calling and begging on well-meaning Nigerians that the time to act is now. The time to rescue Nigeria is now. It is now or never. Thank you.
Egbe Zomo, ladies and gentlemen. Wowza. Yeah. Where is the lie? Thank you. Well said. All right. Where is that Joanna guy? He kept dropping. I was one Joanna Nuhu guy. I pulled up. Yeah, his name rings
The guy
Arewa.
has advised, he has advised himself. Yeah, you can see that name mounts. He does
No,
he
no,
dropped
no.
himself.
I
I,
know
I
it's
wanted to ask him if the microphone was hot and he dropped it because I accepted him.
look, I'm giving him a benefit of the doubt. It might just be that he has a bad network or connection or something. Because he tried multiple times, he kept dropping. But I'm waiting for that anthropology guy. He's the one I'm waiting for. To come and give us all his if anybody knows him on this space, please send this space to him.
A guy that talks like a transistor radio. These are people that you need
Once
to
you
put
turn
that
him
in.
on, it's hard to turn it off.
Okay,
Jagun.
I've extended the mic to Nuhu.
Okay.
Should he want to speak?
Okay. So Nu, if you can hear, come up, come and share your thoughts on this topic. Any Arewa person on this space, come up. We'd like to hear you. Does APC think Arewa only vote for religion and tribe? We think it's an insult that anyone will think that of you guys. Us, Northerners. Jaguar, am
I
I a
will
Northerner?
soon be lying. I will soon be
Well, by all
lying.
means, technically you are.
I will soon be lying.
Ausu billahi minash shaitani rajim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Liar,
Eko
man.
inshuwa romance ya mami wata. See,
So I wait, Chief. So you have to learn the difference between North Central and Middle Belt. Go figure. In the Nigerian context, there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. So I'll leave it at that. Johanna, I see you in the listener. Grab the mic. The host sent you the mic. Grab and come up. Chief, all right, go ahead before we go to
yeah,
Malam Eze.
yes. Yeah, so I just wanted to quickly say that it's not only APC that thinks Iowa only votes religion and tribe. So many people in ADC too actually think
What you
so.
don't say? You mean our
And
beloved,
the line of
ADC think that?
I can guarantee you that. I can
Hey,
guarantee you that. In fact, this is a line of argument for so many people. This is why a lot of people, including some Southeasterners, believe that Peter Obi will be a hard sell for those guys because I mean, culture eats strategy for breakfast. You're already who you are. You can't learn how to use left hand at old age. So they believe that these guys are condemned to only vote for religion and tribe. But they are not in the majority. I think this is, for me, this is why I draw my inspiration. This is why I have hope. It's not everybody.
Sorry, bro. You just said something, including Southeasterners. So we should be that we believe that we should base on religions and tribe. No, I think you're wrong on that, please. So when you're making,
it's not that they
No.
should.
Calm down. You didn't get me.
I don't
You
think
didn't
you.
listen properly.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chief.
I'm saying that the reason why a lot of people are not confident about Peter Obi's prospect in 2027 is because they believe that certain voting blocks will never vote for somebody like Peter Obi in the north, including some Southeasterners. That is why you find some of your brothers pushing for Peter Obi to be a VP. Senselessly, though. I've never heard something like that before in my life. And then they will now wrap the argument up by saying that, so that in 2031, they will now vote for a Southeasterner. So they will suddenly change, their brains will suddenly change within 4 years. And what they've not done for decades and decades, perhaps even centuries, within 4 years, they will now suddenly be able to do it. These are just, foolish people, in my opinion. So it's not only APC. This is a current problem in ADC. I don't know if Dele Momodu is trying to serve as a decoy so that APC does not know where the coalition is going. Because I expect him to know better. Because what he literally does now is every opportunity he has, even if you're arguing about which jollof rice is better between Ghana jollof and Nigerian jollof, he will enter and say Atiku is the man to beat in 2027. Every opportunity he has, he will say Atiku is the man to beat. And his analysis, his belief is also this topic that you have up here. He will say, let us be pragmatic. Okay? That there are people who are totally and completely condemned to only vote for their region and their tribe. But if oil money flows from this, what they call them, Kefiri and Aram area that they don't want to vote for, they know how to put it under their agbada and use it to build beautiful mosques and marry many wives and have many children. But when it comes to playing their own role so that the country will continue to stay united, they would retire to their, corner and their cocoon of religion and tribe. It's a lie. These guys know what they're doing. They are 419. It's Lamba. Because if you are rejecting a Southern candidate, they also reject the fact that is coming from this. If you just identify one, the Abuja, if anything that is coming from these people, we cannot accept it. Okay? So that we know that, yes, you are truly practicing your religion. So this is all deception. This is hypocrisy. And I hope it changes because something has changed about us since Tinubu became president. No matter what you say, this guy has been the most destructive, the most impactful president that we have seen in a long time. Okay? He's literally mopping up cash from the citizens and giving it to the politicians after he has taken enough for himself. This is the summary of exactly what he's doing. That's why you continue to have questions without real answers. All you get is propaganda. All you get is propaganda from Jagaban. So we just keep deceiving ourselves. And when Peter Obi joined ADC, I became very hopeful that maybe this hypothesis or maybe this assumption, this belief that we've always had, maybe something's about to change because of Tinubu's, the negative impact of Tinubu's policies. Because let's be honest, a lot of people have been impoverished, and particularly more so in the north, because of the clueless and the incompetent and the wicked policies of this government. Right? So I don't know whether it's going to have an impact, i.e., maybe we'll now see some differences. Maybe some religious clerics will now say, okay, look, you have to start to understand that this country does not only belong to our religion and our tribe. And there's some sort of a symbiotic relationship that has to exist. We cannot, I'm sorry if you are not ahead, we cannot continue to be parasites and be creating problem for every other person. You have to bring something to the table. Okay? So maybe the way Tinubu is dishing out these policies that is buffeting and killing a lot of people, maybe it will not make them have a change of heart to really tell their people the truth that the fact that you vote for a Christian does not mean that you will not be able to practice your religion. It does not mean that you'll be oppressed. There are people, there are nice people who just want a better country for all. And that's the class that Peter Obi falls in. So I hope so. And I wrap up on this note. The way we would understand where the northern elites and their people have their head is what they do with this ADC presidential ticket. That's why I'm already really disappointed that we have to be struggling and be forming a strategy to ensure that we don't get cheated. We have to be, yes, it's good to join ADC, but people are panicking that if you don't mobilize enough into ADC, you might get cheated, you might get manipulated, and then somebody else would emerge, right? I'm already a little bit disappointed that, yes, I know that, yes, you have to contest the primaries, but, you know, these things I believe should happen organically if these guys are truly, truly ready to have a better Nigeria. So it's not only APC. A lot of people in this our ADC also have this mindset. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. The other point you made about the FAC allocations. One good thing, APC people on the space might like what I'm about to say. Just to prove to you guys that we don't always criticize. When we see something nice, we identify it. Yeah, we can be objective like that. So under the new tax law, it's a consumption based derivation model, which means so the formula goes 55, 35, 55 states, 35 local government, 10% federal government. And the ones that goes to state is actually based on the parts of the country where whatever is being produced is being consumed. So it's a consumption based model. So if you are Sokoto, Kanu, whatever state you have your Hisba, and you are against alcohol. Well, if alcohol is sold in the South, you don't get the VAT that comes from the consumption in the South, because unlike the old model. So you don't get that. All right. So it doesn't matter where the company is headquarters. Even if we headquarter the company that is producing it in Kano, you don't get the VAT because that part has to go to where the alcohol is being consumed. So I think that is a great thing they did under the new law. And I'm hoping it becomes a precursor to more things in our country. This idea, to the point you're making, of producing in the South, taking resources from the South, and going to go sponsor, I don't know, pilgrimages, child marriages, and Hajj and all these other things up north. It makes no sense, So I like that part of the law. There you have it, APC people. You see, we can be objective. All right.
So what if I buy NSC Lagos and finish it finally in Kaduna? Because you can't just finish like that. If I buy Lagos and then before I finally finish, I
Just make
enter.
sure his bar doesn't catch you. Just make sure his bar doesn't catch you. No, I think it's more complex than that. I think that they have a model. Their model is actually broad based, and they have their way of benchmarking these things. So they use their stats and all these other things. And for a company, you have your market, you have where your the consumption, what a base of your product is coming, what part of the country is coming from. Now, the counter argument from these other states is that it's not fair. It's not a fair model because for the most part, this model might work for, even if you remove the religion, right? It might work for metroplexes. It might work for big cities, Port Harcourt, Lagos, Ibadan, all these other big cities. But nonetheless, it's so they are saying that it's unfair to them that you make that kind of a rule. But how is it unfair when the same you people will go and be destroying people's businesses that are selling alcohol, and then you turn around and take the VAT that comes from the sale, or FAC allocations for that matter, that come from the sale of alcohol? It doesn't make any sense. So I just, when I read the law, I compared the old and the new, I saw it jumped out at me, and I thought it was a good thing. Again, but my big argument is that I hope it's a precursor to something bigger. If state control, resource control, full resource control, right? That's how it should be. That's how it should be, right? Don't take resources from the south, and we're not even seeing it show up in the north. We're not seeing it. You take this money, you're paying terrorists, right? You're negotiating with terrorists with the money from the resources from the south. That's exactly what you're doing. Child bride marriage. You're sponsoring mass child bride weddings. Yes, that's what you're doing with the money. It doesn't make any sense. So maybe by the time we force you guys to generate your own IGR, maybe you would think twice. Okay? Maybe you would think twice. Anyways, I just wanted to point that out. All right, let's move on.
Sorry, Tilo, before you go to the next person. Sorry,
Okay.
before you go to the next person. Oh, let's
All right.
also remember that the Tinubu has been rejected because I think they figured out that it's not a proper Muslim. He went to Niger State, and in Niger State he mixed one. I can't remember now. He mixed Bible and Quran together. He started from I
What?
think I
He was quoting. He was quoting the Bible.
and then he entered our Lord's prayer. That is vex
Jesus.
them. So that's why they are shopping for another candidate now, another proper real Muslim. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what happens when you marry a pastor. Bat is a Muslim, supposedly, allegedly, and Rat is a pastor, allegedly. Rumor has it. All right, let's move on. Zaina, are you back?
Yes, I am.
Salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam. How are you guys?
We're good.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to. I'm really happy that we're having this conversation because we've heard these type of sentiments and comments from APC, and unfortunately, we've also heard it amongst people who claim to be part of the coalition. APC clearly believes that, which is why Tinubu ran with a Muslim VP. Tinubu believed that without a core northerner running by his side, he will not get a sufficient number of votes in the north. So he had to run with the Muslim VP, and he didn't care how that will have an impact on the unity of the country. Now, we also have people in this coalition. They say, oh, let us calculate the pathway to victory. Let us be pragmatic. And you cannot have Peter Obi as the presidential flag bearer because he will not get support from the North. And I always tell them, oh, so you want the North cannot support Peter Obi, but you want Southern voters, which represent Peter Obi's stronghold, to support a Northern candidate and secure the vote. I always say this is not a coalition, then it's a scam because one part of the country has something to offer to you, but the reverse is not the case. And I exclude myself from that, and I will exclude the middle belt from that line of thinking. Because when you look at the electoral map, and I've said it before in fear of repeating myself, the North Central have supported candidates regardless of their regional origin and regardless of their religious background. Same can be said for the Southwest. Same can be said from the Southeast and South. But look, if you look at the electoral map and you look at the results for the past 20 years during the presidential election, it was only Muslim candidates that were able to win a geopolitical um, zone. For example, if you look at 2023, the North was divided. So you had um, Atiku who won the Northeast. Tinubu mostly won the Northwest. But if you look at the breakdown, Atiku was still able to win two states in the Northwest, and then Kwankwaso won Kano states. But what do you have in common with these three candidates is that they're all Muslims. But let's go back to previous elections. The Southeast and the South heavily supported Atiku. during the 2019 election. If you look, they did the same back in 2011 when they supported Yardua. If you look at the North Central 2011, they supported Jonathan. Then 2015 they went with Buhari. It's the same for the Southwest. In 2011, they supported Jonathan. 2015, they supported Buhari. But all I'm trying to do here is like to draw and to highlight a pattern where you have the bottom half of the country who was able to support candidates no matter where they came from. But it seems that the court north is incapable of doing so. While they acknowledge that a candidate from the core north cannot win the election with the support of the south, but given any opportunity, they wouldn't support any other part of the country. How long do they truly believe this can go on? How can you stay with a straight face if Chipito Obi wins the nomination in the primary? The North will not support him. They would rather support Tinubu. So again, you will go with Tinubu despite how disastrous he is, only for the simple fact that he is a Muslim. So good governance doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many times Peter Obi highlights how much he supports the North in terms of potential, or how much he highlights the contributions of the North to the national economy, how much more agriculture can be developed, how much he is willing to work for all parts of Nigeria equally. None of that is enough for you. But then you say that you believe in one Nigeria, but you're incapable of supporting anybody if he's not either from your region, or if he's not from your region like Tinubu, he has to share the same religion as you. While you expect the rest of the country to support the core northerner. Some of them even say, or this time it will be easier for Atiku to gain some votes in the north because Buhari has died. So Buhari, a fellow core person from the core north Muslim, now you're going to transfer your support from him to another Muslim from the core north. When are you ever? I want to know which election cycle you're going to support people from other parts of the country. I really need somebody to come up and give me that answer. Because while you do that, you have the audacity to expect and demand that other parts of the country should support you. What if the rest of the country bends then against you? What if the South, the Southeast, or North Central decides to vote together and only advance the interest of those four regions? How will you react to that? How will you counteract that? We've seen Tinubu are already trying to thread this path. But if mistakenly during the ADC primaries, you continue that pattern, you will be the one to lose, because Nigerians are not foolish, and this cannot continue to go on and on and on. Some of you are saying, oh, why are we talking about rotation? But would you accept another Southerner taking power let's say Tinubu wins re-election, right? Will you accept another Southerner staying in power or being elected in 2031? How come rotation matters when it's your turn, but it doesn't matter when we're saying, oh, it would be fairer for another candidate from the South to emerge? Peter Obi has even promised, which is something that I disagree with, because I believe that he would do amazing from the country. But in order to respect that balance and for his love of all Nigerians, he said that he will run for, if should he be elected in 2027, he would only do one term. All of that for the name of unity. When are you going to practice that unity that you preach all the time? You call IPOP separatists, terrorists, and all of that. But your unity is only in your mouth and never in your actions. I will take you seriously on the fact that you say that Nigeria's unity is sacrosanct when I will witness you supporting other parts of the country the way that you support your own. Let me finish my submission here. Thank you.
Okay. Who's going? Thank you, Zena.
Nice one, Zena. Oh, Jagun, I thought you wanted to add something, but
No, no, go ahead. It's your show. You and Verele are the ones cooking right now. I'm on sabbatical.
yeah, us Northerners, right? Us Northerners. So, for the opportune time, let's reiterate what Zena just said. The last part. We have a situation where the North always feels entitled to Southern votes, but not the other way around. The South, you have to work, you have to go and beg and prostrate and kiss the ring and pray to the gods and appease, pour libation, do everything. But they just believe that it belongs to them. They were the real Emilio before the Emilio man showed up. If you guys know what I mean. They were not just loud about it and talking about it. They didn't just phrase it that way, right? So what we are saying here is that for the sake of the unity of our country, that you guys always use, that line that you always use, that talking point, right? The unity of Nigeria is sacrosanct. All those nice, fine lines. It is time to actually act like you believe it, right? What we cannot do for the sake of our unity is to have 8 straight years of a northerner Muslim, Fulani, and you have an intermission of a southerner, and I'm choosing that one intermission deliberately, in Tinubu, Muslim, and then some of you are clamoring for us to have another northerner Muslim, Fulani. Come on, man. Sorry, guys. Come on. That does not help the polity. That does not help our country. And you know it. You guys that are pushing for this thing, you already have a Muslim ticket right now. That in itself is a problem. We have this very delicate, intractable Christian genocide issue that is not going away, that we have not even solved. Our government is playing whack-a-mole with this issue. They're dancing around it. The next time Mr. Trump tweets, you see them running around. And when he doesn't tweet, okay, let's take a break. Playing games with human lives. How do you reassure those people that their Christian lives matter in Nigeria? How do you reassure them that their Christian heritages matter? There are large swaths of Christian indigenous communities in the north. Indigenous. Okay? You guys, you've pushed them, you've shoved them, you've killed them. You're wiping them out in real time. How do we assure them that their lives matter? I'll tell you one thing you shouldn't do. You should not have a Muslim. It's bad enough you already have a Muslim ticket. What you shouldn't have is a Muslim back-to-back leadership. You shouldn't have that. So, I know we're talking about APC, but flip it, ADC. If indeed you are a party of fairness, equity, justice, and all the amazing things you talk about, it is time to demonstrate it. Okay? You cannot have another Muslim northerner, and by extension, Fulani, as the head of your coalition. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. If you do that, then you have shown that you don't respect this fragile marriage, this fragile unity that our framers worked so hard to preserve till now. It shows that you don't respect it for your own personal gains. That's what you've shown. All right, let's move on. Let's go to Malam Eze. Malam Eze,
Yeah,
Masalam alaikum.
Malaikum salam. Ya, Yara,
Yeah,
Agida,
yeah, Aiki.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah, mashallah.
Mashallah, mashallah.
Yeah, salam alaikum to my Muslim brothers in the house. I can see some Christian, Jago, Eto,
Wait,
may the
now you
peace,
baptize me.
may the peace, okay, may the peace of the Lord. I don't see you in our religious place. That's why I assume that Christians don't want to come and defend your faith there. So the peace of the Lord be with you. The traditionalists in the house, may the spirit, may the peace of Ogun, peace of Amadioha be with all of you. Yeah, then Dr. O is not here. The taste, may the peace of the earth be with him and the rest. I don't know where to stand. Sometimes he will say Jesus, sometimes he will just leave it
Bro,
there. For
I've been
the
blessing people with the blood of Jesus because they've been cursing me too much. I woke up with a headache this morning. I'm like, Jesus, is that curse working already?
you see, I wanted to go and reply in that thread, but I found out that the guy blocked me. So yeah, so the sense of no, or rather, I don't know how to classify that. Maybe 50-50, 50% of people for a particular those are amended figures, where they will tell you, for example, they will say Southeast voted Obasa Tinubu. I don't believe in all those things because those are amended figures. So if you go with the actual, if there is a free and fair election, for example, it will show you a true definition of that is just the naked truth. So, but the question is, so we go to be, is this how we keep coexisting